I don't see a show where we are. We on live, but I don't see it. Where
Yo,
we at?
yo, yo.
What's going on, fellas?
What's happening, brothers? I'm trying to find us where we can share this. I'm not able to share it. I'm not seeing it on your page or the Tipping Points page.
Really?
Yeah, where we at?
Oh man, we're gonna have to grab it from YouTube and share it then because
I got it on your page right now.
It's on my
I got
page.
it on Joe's. I got it on Joe's page.
Let me go to Joe's page. I was just there. Let me
I
check.
shared it on mine. Shared it on mine.
Joe, I'm back on your page. I don't see it. You got it on yours, Pierre?
Yeah, I just shared it.
Yeah, I see it on the Tipping Point page.
Gotcha. I see it on yours, Pierre. Let me share this.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's another day, folks.
Let me see where my at. Boom, there we go.
All right.
Let me share some of this out here. Get people in on this topic here, baby.
I know John
It's a
got
good
some,
one. It's a good one.
some wisdom for us.
Oh man, is Wakanda Forever the goal or a distracted illusion? Wakanda Forever.
Yo, I actually saw the movie, man. I had a chance to check it out Thursday, and there was a fire that broke out in the movie theater, so they had to stop the showing. My wife decided that we wanted to stay. I didn't get out the theater until after 3 o'clock in the morning, man.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
So y'all stayed through the fire?
Well, it wasn't a real fire, but we had to wait till the fire department had cleared it out. And
I was gonna say you could, if you want, you could make a whole rap about it and call it "Through the Fire," and then become a billionaire, get a contract with Adidas, and talk crazy.
Okay.
Hey, well look, we got a great show for y'all today. Peace, family. It's yours truly, Mr. Just As Joe. We got Brother John Yah and Pierre the Godson with us. Family, y'all ready to get this show started?
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
You are listening to The Tipping Point Show with your host, Mr. Just Ask Joe, John Yah. You ready? Streaming live all over social media and on your favorite music and podcast streaming platforms.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Also, check out thetippingpointshow.com. The Tipping Point Show.
I don't even know what's going on. Oh my god. Are you guys kidding me?
All right. Hey, we'll jump in here real quick. Brothers, how was y'all week?
That was awesome, man. Always working, always busy.
Oh yeah, same here, man. Work, busy. That's the market, and then also probably the
Hey, listen, check this out. I want to offer anyone that watching this show, see this 16 jar spice rack right here, right? All your spices in it, right? Brand new, box unopened. I'm gonna give this to anyone that drops the tag. And first of all, share this post to see our ready to tell you. But I want as many people that can tag other people in this link, the most. I'm gonna ship it to you wherever you are in the country. I'm gonna ship it to you free.
Be free.
So the one that tags in the most people in this show, at the end of the show, we're gonna announce who it is, and I'm gonna you inbox me your address, and I'm gonna ship it to you.
Hey, Pierre, tell them how to do that.
Hey, how you do that? You gotta get real aggressive. You gotta get real violent on your mobile device for you to do. And what I need you to do, hashtag Tipping Point Morning Show, and like that button, hit the like button, drop a thumbs up in the comments. We're trying to get this information out here to the public so you guys can get all the value, but we're working against the algorithms on the internet. So, in order for us to get the algorithms working in our favor, if you like, pound that like button, share this video video to all your friends.
All right. MorningShow, baby. The Tipping Point Morning Show. Folks, got a hashtag that and see it there. Boom, 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 boom. All right. So hashtag Tipping Point Morning Show. The person that does the most, shares it, likes it, and all that stuff the most, go get that spice rack. I actually have one of those myself here at the house, and I'm refilling all the bottles all the time with new spices. I'm always cooking things in spices. Hey man, I'm a chef extraordinaire, brother, and I believe in herbal medicine. So even in using all the spices and herbs while I'm cooking, and then at the end I'm still putting more on there. I'm still cutting fresh spices and all that stuff, man. So y'all gonna love that spice rack. And I tell y'all what, next up to the stage, I gotta tell y'all something. I don't want to hear anybody's excuses about being able to. Okay? I told y'all before, $10 a piece. I bought a Rebel juicer and then I bought a juice mixer, right? And I think I'm gonna start buying multiple more of these to give them away on the show. Just as John is doing with that spice rack. I be getting them from the Goodwill, bro. From the Goodwill. I just recently went and bought another mixer. I think it is another Rebel, but this joint is dope. I juiced for the first time this morning in it after washing it, cleaning it up. And bruh, I had so much fun. I was in the kitchen singing and yelling and like just excited because of how dope this juice was coming out, man. So I tell y'all, you got to do it, and it's easy to do. So first up to the stage, we got Brother Crypto Kitty. This guy right here is nothing less than amazing. We love him, brother. Welcome to the stage. Hey.
Good
What's
morning,
going on,
Good
family?
morning, and queens that are viewing in. Good morning to all. Happy Saturday morning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I'll jump right into it. I'll jump right into it. There's a lot happening in the crypto space. We've seen about, I think it was 200 billion come out of the market within the last week. Bitcoin dropped from 20,000 all the way down to, I believe, even 16,000 and change. A lot of things are happening within the space right now. We've had the company, the exchange FTX, file for bankruptcy. The billionaire owner Sam has put a lot of people in bad situations when it comes to investments and false promises. And I wanted to address that because as the market looks at crypto, some of the times you'll take this type of media in the news and you'll say that it's not for you or you think that it's not going to work. But what I realized about society, especially American society, is whenever you feel like, there's something in a specific industry that shouldn't be paid attention to, that's really where the focus should be. When it comes to making money in society, we have our history has shown us that manipulation happens so that people look the other way. They purposely do things so that the average person looks the other way. If you look at sports betting, majority of the games that end up covering are the games that look so ridiculous that majority of the people psychologically would just jump on that. Like, if the Chiefs play the Browns and the Chiefs are, getting 8 points, people will look at that like, oh, the Chiefs are definitely going to cover those 8 points. And psychologically, they're going to jump all over that game. And then all of a sudden, that's where Vegas makes their money because they have things called referees that can kind of manipulate the scores, right? So if you understand that in sports, you have to take the same parallel and put that towards crypto. And, with all of the negative news happening with crypto, with the scams, the rug pulls, the government manipulation and just how everything has been going, I think about these things all the time, especially, running a resource center and mentoring, a lot of people in the space. And my thoughts on this is really that it has to work, because whenever these types of issues happen, that's when things are happening behind the scenes that we don't necessarily know about. And I'll also equate that to the profession of being a police officer. Now, if you look at the actual profession, being a police officer is extremely noble. It's the type of career that you can, have a lot of pride in. A lot of people can look at you and say, "Wow, you're changing the way society is. You're protecting people. You're making the world a better and safer place." But what has happened with that industry? There have been people within that industry that have taken that power, taken the job description and internalized that and manipulated that. And now the entire industry has a stigma against it, especially for people of color. We already know that, when we look at police officers, we don't really think that they're protecting us. I give that parallel specifically because that's the same thing that's happening with crypto. The industry itself is just it's not regulated right now. So there's a lot of opportunities for people to take advantage of others. With the situation with FTX, I don't necessarily think that the exchange itself was a credible source for people to invest in. When you're looking at some of the things that they were doing behind the scenes, some of the relationships they had, some of the business opportunities that they were negotiating, you're looking at a company that was doing a lot of falsifying with records, to the point where it just crashed. They couldn't handle it anymore. So when you look at those types of things, I wanted to just share with people, whenever you're dealing with crypto, and we've been speaking about this for months now, you have to be very smart with your money. They have a saying in crypto: if it's not your keys, it's not your cheese. So if you're putting your money on an exchange, whether it could be Coinbase, it could be something extremely popular, Coinbase, Voyager, it doesn't matter what it is. If you're not in possession of that, and so one of the are you guys with me?
Yeah.
I think the internet kind of like shifted. So one of the things that you want to do in life, right? This is not just crypto advice. This is just life advice. The best things you can do in life, the people that become wealthy, the people that become, financially free, what do they do the best? They maximize their discretionary funds and their discretionary time. Those two things, time and money, if you want to become wealthy, if you want to get ahead of the curve, you have to be very smart with what you do with your extra money and with your extra time. And society is here to rob you of those things. If you look at marketing, commercials, situations, society is there to rob you of your extra time, extra money. Everybody's pulling you into a different direction. So those that control those things, that have complete control over how to, take an extra $10 and invest it so that $10 will one day be $20. If you have that philosophy, that's when you're going to get ahead of the game. Until then, you're playing a manipulated game that you're not really aware of. So everything that's happening in crypto, I would encourage everybody to be even more aggressive towards it, because what goes down will go up. I think yesterday was the anniversary of where crypto hit its highest mark ever, about 70,000 per one Bitcoin, and right now we're in a position where it's 16 grand. Will it get back to 70,000 to 100,000? Absolutely, absolutely. Make no question about it. It will. The question is when, right? So everybody plays this game of when it's going to happen, and that's how people kind of analyze the bear market versus the bull market. But one of the things that I would recommend everybody to do is something that I do as well, is whenever I make any money in crypto, I take that money out of the exchange. Either I pay somebody, I do a lot of circulating of funds within my group and with my business partners, so on and so forth. So if I have something in Bitcoin, I'm usually using that to exchange to another currency, to invest into something, or I'm paying somebody with it. I do not leave a lot of money on any exchange. It's not the smart thing to do. If I want to hold on to certain coins, I'll put them on a ledger wallet and take them off the grid and just have them put them
You
aside.
are bringing it, brother. You bringing it, and we appreciate it, man. Until
appreciate
next week, folks. That has been the 5-minute crypto wrap up with Brother Crypto Kitty. Peace, guys.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity,
All right.
brother. See you guys at the top.
All right, all right. Yeah, if you guys agree with Crypto Kenny out there, just comment in the chat if you agree or disagree with his message. We'd like to hear from you guys. Make sure you guys like, share, and comment in the feed if you're on YouTube, Facebook. Let us know where you guys are coming from.
Absolutely. So, I tell you what, folks, it is time next up for our next brother from another mother. This is 5 minute stock spotlight with none other than let's see. Oh, y'all know him. Brother Bennett Walker. Right here. Check him out. Here he comes to the show. Brother, how you doing? I had to play
Good.
something cool and school for you, family.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's fixing right there. Look at him. It's so cool, brother. Hey, I just want you to know, we don't say this stuff just to be joking and playing, brother. We really love you, and we really feel like you're just one of the coolest brothers ever. Can't wait to get to actually meet you in person, chill, and have a good time, man.
Yes, sir. Most definitely, most definitely. It's been a busy week for me. As you guys know, I'm a veteran, so I celebrate Veterans Day on Friday.
Thank you for your
Still,
service.
thank you. Still celebrating Veterans Weekend. Um, Thursday was my birthday, so I turned 55 on Thursday. 55 years young.
Happy birthday!
Birthday. There we go. Big numbers, man. Hey, like I said, it's trying to get 55 more. You got the beard to show it. You got the beard to show it. I envy you. I can't seem to grow a beard yet. You know, I'm not old enough yet. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Don't worry, Ken. When you turn 15 again, don't worry. It's gonna start going.
There you go. But anyway, to jump into it, so like I said, it's stocks. How your portfolio is looking this week out there. Um, for me, I know that it's been looking a little bit better than it has.
Yeah.
It's like things that made some gains. It's like
Oh, I
things.
have one question for you, and I
Yes.
want to throw this at you so you can answer it while you're doing your thing. But Lady Brazilianaire, who is unable to be with us today, she asked, should we buy more Nike, considering the situation with Kyrie Irving?
Well, let's look at Nike right quick. This is it depends on your strategy. For me, I buy stocks based upon how much they're going to pay me to hold the stock. Okay, plain and simple. Like I said, if you're not paying me a dividend, right? I don't care how sexy, I don't care, whatever, because that's the stage I'm in life, right? So I'd have to look at Nike, all right, to see. But making business decisions, okay, should never be emotional.
There you go.
Making business decisions should never be emotional. You should always look at what's going to be right for me, what's going to be good for me, what's going to work for my financial strategy. Okay, for what I'm trying to do. All right, so just looking. Like I said, I didn't pay attention. I don't pay attention to Nike or any of these guys because they don't. I'm looking at dividend is, how much the stock actually costs based upon what they pay you to hold them, and a lot of these, it's not working for me. To buy these stocks, and there are other things out there that are way less. My strategy is always try to find something for $50 or less. All right, the lower that number could be, the higher the dividend yield, the better it is for me. There are dividend investments for growth, and then there's dividend investments for income. Okay, the dividend investment for growth is one where you see where you invest in dividend aristocrats. All right, that have a 20-year, 25-year dividends plus showing growth. They'll be slow and steady. Dividend yield, typically the stock price itself, grows as well. All right, but you have a lot of growth there. You might sit low at one point, then it jumps up. But the biggest thing to notice about these is the dividend yield is pretty low, right? It's roughly around 2-3%. Okay, it takes a lot longer. You have to have a more invested in that. It takes maybe 20 years or so, and then your return may be a little bit less. Okay, dividend income, all right, investing is where you invest in stocks that are paying you 9-10%, okay, dividend yield. All right. Stock itself, may not see a lot of growth there. It may stay kind of level. It may be around $40, $45. You see it all the time, $40, $45. If you look at the dividend itself, how much it pays. It's steady. It may pay, if it's a monthly dividend, it may pay, 26 a month. It's been that way for years, right? And so these the differences with this one is it takes less money because the dividend yield is higher. And you can fold those dividend returns back into, you can take those returns and fold them back into buying more dividends, right? You will gain cash flow a lot quicker, all right, with a lot less money. Okay, so say for instance, you got a stock, right, where it's like, 2 or 3%. It may take you, you know, two, three, $400,000, all right, before you actually, in 20 years or 30 years, before you actually start to see significant income, right? Whereas in the dividend income dividend income, you may, invest up to 40, $50,000 and then be able to see the same type of return on your investment. So is it, that's still a lot of money. It's tens of thousands of dollars. But if you remember in the beginning, we talked about saving. Okay, if you can save, you can invest. It's always good to know how to save first. So you have to know how to save. You can save 30, 40, $50,000, $60,000. Now, we're looking at being able to buy some stocks. So, right quick, what's doing good for you guys? For me, that golden ocean that we talked about earlier.
Yes, sir.
Golden Ocean is a good one. I just went and bought some of that JPT right off the gate. Just gained it. Okay, that's a monthly stock, and that's the Jefferson Morgan Nasdaq. Jefferson Morgan Nasdaq Equity Premium Income ETF. Right. I bought it for about $40. 40 bucks, 40 $40.75. It's already up to $43, 43 cents. All right, so that's already doing good. I'm gonna see my first payment here around December 1st. Okay, so I just bought it here recently. Jeppy has been down. That's Jefferson Morgan. I'm sorry, JP Morgan. Jeppy Premium Income ETF. The stock price has been down, but it's paying me like 68 cents a share. Okay, so even though the price is down, it's still giving me a good dividend, right? So that's pretty good right there. IP, all right, that's that Icon Enterprise. That one's done pretty good for me as well. That one pays me $2 a share per quarter. Okay, and back to Jeff Q. That one's gonna pay like it's some change a quarter. All right, not too much change a quarter. It's gonna pay about $70 a month. That's about 70 cents a month, right? And so that's an $8 a year dividend. All right. Now, you guys, one of my best performance stocks is that I got a long time ago. I got into oil. People, right now is not the time to get into oil, but the good thing about it is oil goes up, oil comes down. If you see that oil come down, buy some more oil. Right now,
baby.
Buy some more oil. I got this one stock called XLE, and that's the energy sector, the energy select sector Spider ETF, right? Spider ETF. Right. So I bought it initially for about $37 a share. It's up to $93 a share, and it pays.
Woo!
Yes, it pays 60, 70 cents. All right. It says quarterly dividend pays 60, 70 cents per
Hey,
share. That's one of my best performing ones.
hey,
So
brother Leonard, I tell you what, man, we can't even give them too much. We can't even
no,
give them too much. We gotta siphon this stuff out to them, man. So I tell you what, next week, man. Hey, some of this stuff that you're talking about has been doing so fantastic, brother. We gotta siphon some of it out and save it for next week as well. Hey,
thank
brother,
you.
we appreciate you. That has been Brother Leonard Walker with the Stock Spotlight.
Peace, brother. I
Peace,
want to
brother.
answer that. I want to answer that one question that Sister Heather asked about Nike. I own Nike. I've been having Nike for a minute now, and I would tell you this, just like what he said. Don't invest emotionally, because here's the thing: if you invest emotionally, it's like this, okay? So if everybody's screaming against Nike right now, that could make Nike stock go down. That's the purpose. That's the time to buy, right? Because we are emotional people. I want you to understand that's how we move on emotion. And guess what? They move based on our emotions, right? Because that's how they push it to make the stock go down based on your emotion. They'll dangle something in front of your head, make you mad. You won't buy the product, and then all of a sudden you're buying the product again, and they're back up. So I don't play the emotion. I've been having it. Jews ain't did nothing to me to make me want to sell my stock. I was looking for anything that I wear. I tried to. If I wear it, I done bought some stock. I done bought me a few shares in it. Why? Because I'm a walking billboard. So you look at what you're wearing and what you like to wear. Go buy some stocks in it. Don't be just a sucker and wearing something and you ain't making some money off of it. I'm looking for Reeboks. I'm thinking about jumping on some Reebok stocks. I can't find it, but I like Reeboks for pearls, right? But I won't get it until I know I can get some stocks. So understand that. Don't invest emotionally based on what the masses of the people emotionally are going. Always go the opposite way of the masses of their emotions.
All right. And then also remember, if you're down with the protest, don't buy Nike shares, okay? So
Right.
that's if you're down with the protest. Right?
Correct.
Everybody in the market has their own agendas. What's your agenda? You have to figure out what that is. Down with the
Right.
protest, don't buy Nike. You don't give a damn about it.
And that's the perfect time. That's the perfect time to buy it. If you don't give a damn.
Hey, well, I tell you what, folks, we're gonna go ahead and jump into a commercial real quick. But when we come back, we got the beautiful queen, Angela Jackson Brown, who's going to bless us with more information about an upcoming event right here locally in Louisville, Kentucky. We'll be right back, folks. Don't go anywhere, because remember, you gotta show that spice rack again.
There you go.
Remember what you gotta do, Pierre, for that?
Share, like, and comment.
Now, see that? Share, like, and comment. Hashtag the Tipping Point Morning Show. Share, like, and comment. Hashtag the Tipping Point Morning Show. Y'all can make that an affirmation right now. All right, we'll be right back right here on the Tipping Point Morning Show.
Hey folks, check out healthandywild.net. 100% plant-based herbs and supplements. Whether you're in person or online, use the word tipping for 10% off. Remember, feel better, look great, healthandywild.net. Remember, healthandywild.net.
I don't need to sit at your table. We building one. We in the process of building a table. We building a table. I don't gotta sit at your table. I'm building my own table, and I will build you a table in the presence of your enemies.
Habibi Trading Company, home of soap sticks and Saya Baba products. Over 400 locations at a store near you. Cincinnati, Ohio, Louisville and Lexington, Kentucky, Southern Indiana, or find yours online at sayababa.com. Again, that's sayababa.com. Habibi Trading Company, where you can find fragrances to incite your senses.
You are listening to The Tipping Point Show with your host, Mr. Just Ask Joe, John Yeah. You ready? Streaming live all over social media and on your favorite music and podcast streaming platforms.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Also, check out thetippingpointshow.com. The Tipping Point Show.
I don't even know what's going on. Oh my god. Oh my god. Are you guys kidding me?
All right. Folks, coming up next to the stage, Brother John, y'all be right back with us. But coming next up to the stage is Jackson Brown, Queen Mother, coming to bring us some great information about an amazing event here coming right up. Queen, how you doing?
You know, I am doing marvelous. To be here today, breathing this free air, which is really not free. But you know, we have to pay the ultimate price of coming to our divine ancestors, our mothers, our fathers, who gave us birth, to be able to come today and create a new way, a divine way. So we at GIVE is all about connecting you to those multiple ways that connect us to our essence. We have our fourth annual holiday flip celebration coming at you in the field, November the 25th and 26th, located at the beautiful, fabulous Creative Events venue, 2722 Critton Drive, from noon until 9 p.m. will be non-stop explosion of creativity, art, culture, edutainment to elevate you, revitalize you with our green smoothies, our power smoothies, by the way, are from my mother's tropical ancestral land of Jamaica, including my sorrel that is highly desired.
Sorrow, not hear that,
Yama, my sorrel, the power of our medicine, fruits, vegetables that bring healing and wellness to every cell of our body. I will be preparing this sorrel with ginger as well as the hibiscus plant. Many of you all know, including those in Africa, in the islands, even in America. But we will also be doing our power smoothies that will help build your body's immune system, which is so important. I've had friends that have gotten really sick over the last couple of years. And when I ask them, what are you eating? What are you nourishing yourself with, your mind with, your body, your spirit? And they tell me that hardly any of the things they're eating is of life-giving substance that the Creator has created abundantly, that you can buy at the local market, you can grow in your garden, even during the winter. By the way, it was snowing out my window. Even in the snow, you could do windowsill garden if you're not in the tropics. The bottom line is, we have access, so there's no excuse. It's a lack of knowledge why the people perish. I see what you're drinking in. What is that?
Oh man, this is carrots, this is pineapple,
All
this
right
is
now.
kale, this is ginger, this is you know what? When I cut off the asparagus, the ends of the asparagus, I still rinse them, I keep them, and I juice those that I save from what I steam versus what I cut off. So I take that part and I juice that as well. So all of that asparagus is used in my household.
So with that said, I really am requesting your presence by my side, Mr. Just Act Joe.
Absolutely.
Mr. Just Act Joe just told you some of my secrets that I want to share with you. He's from Yard too, so he know all about the ITAL vitality food that
I hear
gives
that.
you energy, sustenance, as well as vitality. So yes, I need you right by my side while I'm preparing those powerful super juices ice outside.
Are you going to be
Okay.
using vitamin C at all?
I I have, of course, I always bring my vitamins. Some of you all might know over the
Yes.
decades.
I've seen you
I do
in
my
action before.
demos. I will be bringing out the Vitamix as well as all the various herbs, plant-based fruits, even our spices. I'm gonna put a little cinnamon, a little nutmeg. Yeah, I'm gonna bring some onion. I'm gonna show you the righteous way how to prepare these powerful foods. Along with all of that going on, while you're at the Queen Diva party with our smoothie making, we will be having some phenomenal engagement with self-love, self-care counselors that will be our guest speakers that will speak about how to go within and connect. And while we're doing that, we will be drinking organic tea, smoothies prepared by Imwa, as well as Dr. Lucretia Kid will be featuring some of her internal, external ingredients that you could consume but also apply to your body with her body butters that she creates. She will be giving you a demonstration for moisturization as well as elevation of your external organ. You know, your skin is the most powerful organ for your body that extracts, receives whatever you put in it. So we're going to teach you how to put good nourishment into your skin.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
then we're going to have a fabulous fashion show presentation. It is a presentation, by the way. Everybody knows I do a production. This is a presentation of Shango Ronke, International Designs on the Move, revitalizing you, energizing you, and teaching you how to live in harmony with Mother Earth. Looking gorgeous always,
Hey,
as
y'all.
well as
You got to come out to this event.
our spirit.
I'm definitely going to focus on making it. I used to work for Vitamix for 5 years as a sales
No
demonstrator,
kidding.
so I definitely want to come and play, and I'll bring my Vitamix as well, and we can
Will
just have
you?
fun together. Absolutely,
Please,
absolutely,
I love it. The yin and the yang. And that's what we're
absolutely.
all about, balance. So I'm
Let's
really going to
go.
hold you to that. So
Let's go.
everybody witnessing this. Joe will be by my side making eye tall,
Air that.
super tropical smoothies. And we're going to have the kiddos in the play center.
All right.
With play cousins that will be sponsoring as my partner resources as well as
Absolutely.
art.
And you guys will hear more about this next week. Next Saturday, you'll be back on as well to tell us more about this event. Hey, sis Angela Jackson Brown, founder of Give, we will see you next Saturday, Queen.
Please go on Facebook. We have our new posters as well as our flyers that has the QR code that you can go and click on to get the workshops that we're presenting on Eventbrite, including signing up for the Queen Diva Party and our coats, hats, scarves, bride. We need new coats, hats, scarves. And we need you to come up, show up at
Right.
2722 Christmas Drive, 25th kicks off Black Friday nationwide holiday season.
All right, Queen.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate you next Saturday.
I appreciate you having me on. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
With
Angela.
that
All right.
said, you have a
All right, all right, all right. Thank you, Queen. Hey, I tell you what, y'all heard it here first, right here. You heard it here second, and you're gonna hear it here third next week as well, right here on the Tipping Point Morning Show about this amazing event. And I tell you what, I don't know what is happening with brother John. He was having some technical difficulties, and let me check real quick. Okay, so he'll be back on shortly, and we'll get right into it. We're gonna go to commercial break really, really quick, and we'll be right back. All right, peace, y'all. Be right back. Don't go nowhere.
Habibi Trading Company, home of soap sticks and Sayababa products. Over 400 locations at a store near you. Cincinnati, Ohio, Louisville and Lexington, Kentucky, Southern Indiana, or find yours online at sayababa.com. Again, that's sayababa.com. Habibi Trading Company, where you can find fragrances to incite your senses.
Hey folks, check out healthanywow.net. 100% plant-based herbs and supplements. Whether you're in person or online, use the word tipping for 10% off. Remember, feel better, look great, healthanywow.net. Real healthanywow.net.
You are listening to The Tipping Point Show with your host, Mr. Just Ask Joe, John Yeah. You ready? Streaming live all over social media and on your favorite music and podcast streaming platforms.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Also, check out thetippingpointshow.com. The Tipping Point Show.
I don't even know what's going on. Oh my god. Oh my god. Are you guys kidding me?
All right. Folks, we have a dope conversation for you today, and the conversation today is all about Wakanda Forever. Are we stuck on hope or immobilized in our own self-induced pain? John Yao will be back on shortly as he's having a couple of technical difficulties. But nonetheless, I did want to mention real quick when it comes to the event on the 25th, Black Friday. Remember, there is going to be mental health workshops, forums, justice, liberty, and advocacy workshops and forums, entrepreneurial and financial literacy, generational wealth building workshops and forums. Folks, you can sit back and you can complain for 400 plus years all you want. Do it for another 400. Or you can actually do something about it. It's up to you. All right? We have to make change. You can't sit back. People, whenever we talk about change, people sit back and say, well, the reason why we got here, how we got here, everybody knows how we got here. You know that. Guess what? It's up to us. I'm not sitting back waiting on nobody to make that change. We got to do it for yourself. We got to do it for ourselves. We got to start doing it for ourselves. We got to care enough about our future, legacy, children. We got to care enough to actually do something about it. This is an event that you can go to get some foundational bricks in order to build something a little bit better in case you're of the I don't know crew. Or even if you are of the know crew, you can come and do in support of this event to help and talk to people and meet them at an event like this. So please, no more I don't know or I can't do it, because right here, right now, you have to be in the palm of your all right. So there's no excuse. There's no excuse anymore.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so
All
what
right.
you think, brother?
So coming to the main topic, Wakanda Forever. The goal was to protect this illusion. This is the topic, so appreciate that. Hey, listen, that's the kick off this main topic. I'm gonna need you guys. I saw the movie. I was up to 5 p.m. to the fight and broke out. We had a great come back at the movie and it was on Thursday night. I'm still, hungover from that. But all in all, I'm going to get you no spoilers. I'm not going to get any spoilers out here. I'm going to have to catch it. But as you can see, off your like, share, comment. I need y'all use that like button, the thumbs up button. You guys with us, that movement, moving out here. Yeah, you see what those going? Just sound it like this. Sound it like
Ah! It's violent!
alphos activity. They're gonna help push this through and master you master. All right. So share, like, this thing, friends, family. So man, listen, Wakanda Forever. For me, man, I just think it like I give it like I would give it a 10 out of 10. We'll go with a 9.5 out of 10. Real strong, review that I have on there. I mean, the movie in itself and no spoilers, nothing like that. But all in all, I think the movie is really good. I think it's really well. There's some things that I just wasn't with. This activity is pretty phenomenal. I really like how they capture, African spiritualism in the movie. I think that's what a lot of people can resonate with, is that African spiritualism, ceremonies and things like that, they really embody. And, that translated across the screen in a way that, black people kind of resonate with very well. I thought that was pretty cool. Um, like, the fact itself was kind of like, what is Wakanda? This is a fictional, city of black people who are self-sustained and they're unmolested by the other world. Nobody can come into this place.
I like that.
All right.
That unmolested, absolutely, the world.
So
That's
to the
not like my
colonized.
food. As a matter of fact, I like my food unmolested as well. That's few and far between today. But hey,
Yeah.
brother John, yeah, is back with his family.
Yeah. Welcome
So
back,
go
John.
ahead,
So,
yeah.
yeah. Wakanda is a fictional place that basically black people are living in, heaven on earth type situation. It's really a socialist utopia, but I guess we can see this on that day. But basically, the place is
Socialist utopia.
it's a socialist
You
utopia.
can't slide by some of those things that you throw out there. Socialist utopia. We talked about, socialism versus this monopoly board that we're on now.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
what makes it
socialism is
such a
basically
socialist?
socialism is basically when the government owns the factory. That's basically government owns. You guys can take a look at your communities. You see that anything that the government owns is workable work. You live in ghettos, housing projects, things like that. Nobody wants to live there, right? That's government housing, right? You take a look at services like, going to the post office, going to FedEx, or UPS. Like, you always can get better service in the private sector versus public. And so anyway, when the government owns the factory, the government doesn't understand the markets, prices and things like that. So the government typically screws things up, and so sometimes they may give extreme blessings, but that's followed every single time by extreme poverty and destruction. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be careful when you ask them but not to really get into the socialist, debate there, because we can see that about history. But Wakanda itself, a socialist, if you know about Karl Marx, Engels, the socialist, they're always promising a utopia, a heaven on earth that, hey, we can use science and technology to bring about, no more pain, no more suffering on this earth. That human man can actually stop all suffering. And I am of the belief that that's impossible. It never happen. It can't happen. It's not the way this world was designed. It's losses, wins, and gains, suffering, all those things are natural. I'm from a Christian background. Even Jesus Christ walked amongst men, and he did not stop, slavery or anything like that. It left matters of the world where they were. He was more focused on the next life, the afterlife, the new heaven and the new earth, right? And so I don't think that this world can be a heaven on earth. There may be some people that disagree. If you do, please put in the chat. I would love to hear from you guys. You think that man can think about heaven on earth? I'll tell you this: the Chinese, they still operate under this illusion. They have 5,000 years of their history tracked and documented. Black people don't really have our history. That's why you see Kyrie, out there trying to learn his history. I saw Farrakhan, saw the Hebrew Negroes segment, and he has comments about it as well. Like, hey, we're trying to figure out where we come from, right? And so we don't really have our history. Chinese, they got 5,000 years of history, and it's kind of like a cycle that continues over and over again. And one of the things about the history is that it's always about a benevolent leader, and I have Chinese friends I debate with often, and I really enjoy my debate with them because they're really smart people and they really bring the heat. And I like to get that heat in debate. And so but they had this cycle of, emperors, like the old term emperor means gods amongst men. That's what they title themselves. They're gods amongst men. Okay. So before America, right, and the empirical age where you have all these leaders who, position themselves as gods amongst men. And even in, Africa, all nations was ran by kings, queens, czars, emperors. They're all men, and then everybody must serve those guys. Those guys are untouched by everybody else. Until America comes along, and now we have this free market, society where people are free to choose, how you go about life. You don't have to do what your father was. You don't have to be a carpenter because your dad was a carpenter. You were born into royalty. If you did not have that royal bloodline, it was impossible for you to become royal. Unless you're a woman who was to be married into royalty. But none of those things uh, amounted to greater standards of living of the masses elevated. And the Chinese, they always have these tales of peace, prosperity, war, peace, prosperity, war. So they're always looking about a benevolent leader who's bring about peace, prosperity, and then there's always some type of war that they really can't. I guess they blame outsiders for it, and then they find their way back. So they're still going through this now. We see presidents doing the same thing. As China's built up through capitalism, now they're trying to revert back to, or look, here's that they're reverting back to now just their own type of socialism. So anyway, that's like the whole talk about like socialist stuff. And Wakanda is like that type of place that's isolated from the rest of the world. So remember, it's a fictional place. Will Wakanda ever exist? No, not. And if it did, like you probably wouldn't want to be there if you're living in hell, just because it's closed off from the world. And we live in a society where there are countries that can't grow their own food. Right? So how do you get your food? You have to trade with other countries. This worked on a tribal level as well. People thought that like, oh, tribes met each other, they just fought automatically. War was always the last resort. When you interact with another tribe, you try to say, hey, what's mutually beneficial for both of us? What do you have that grows in your land, and what I have that grows in my land? If I have corn in my land and you got cotton in your land, maybe we can exchange, right? So tribes, they met each other. It wasn't automatically hit them with the spear, drive by hit them with the spear. It was like, hey, what can we do to work things out? If, only if one encumbered upon somebody's land, which that did happen, right? If your population outgrew, your land and you need more food, you have to venture out and exchange. Sometimes that results in war because you gotta, the
Man,
other tribes are not going
that
to share
sounds
with
like today's D-boy issue. I mean,
you. I like how
gangs
you
being, I
modernize
mean,
that.
for real, gangs being coached on each. You can't sell over here because this is my territory. You see this on TV in every day, right? But this is real life type stuff. So talking thousands of years of the same issue.
Yeah, same thing. Like today, we got Hollywood that's building up this, fictional universe, this fictional world to make us feel good. So we go to movie theaters and everybody feels good because they really captured again the African spiritualism came through really good and did translate to the film. Again, I'm not going to spoil the movie for you guys. Check it out. It's good enough. Definitely, I give it a 9.5 out of 10. And
But do y'all think that the feel good that we get stuck in that? Is that the illusion? John, is that the illusion? We get stuck in the feel good and don't make no moves ourselves?
That's a great question you asked. And that, I guess I'm trying to, I'm not a movie goer. I didn't watch the movie. I didn't watch the first one, and not going to watch the second. Question becomes, when we say Wakanda, what is it, and where is it at? And so, how do we live it? In other words, Wakanda forever. Give me a concept of what that actually means, then we can talk about where the illusion is. I'm not sure what the definition even means. So help me to understand the meaning.
yeah, that's what I was explaining earlier. It's like the closed off continent that's unmolested by colonizers, black people understanding they're free from all kind of issues, deals of the world. But they're closed off and they had a commodity called vibranium, something that came from a meteor or something like that that only existed in this Wakanda. And it's basically a mirror of Africa, basically. Everything is African. And they had this commodity that is strongest, like one of the strongest elements, I think, like Captain American shield is made of this vibranium material. And so basically they have a monopoly on this commodity. And they don't want colonizers. Their colonizers can't come. They're uninvited. So basically, they live in this prosperity, kind of like the Chinese fairy tale type stuff about the benevolent leaders who had this interest of prosperity. Yes, yes, so people, you can have peace if you cooperate and obey. So this also this doesn't mean like good all the time, right? It's not like that they put on your neck, you can either fight or you can, yield. Right? And if you yield, yeah, yeah. I mean, if you yield, then continue because you gave up the fight, whatever, and now you must obey whatever the rules of things are. So peace. That's what the Chinese get caught up in. Like, oh yeah, all the peace and blah blah blah. Prosperity for who? Prosperity for those that are ruling, the ruling class. And that's what I was saying earlier.
Right, let me ask, this power that is claimed in the movie, is it eventually shared with the world?
Well, without spoiling the film itself, basically,
Well,
Wakanda
look
is
at the last
Wakanda.
film. The last
Well,
film, right at the end, they were at the UN and they announced Wakanda and they said, "What can a country of farmers do for us?" And that's kind of where they left it. But they were looking to share their technology, and even at the before that part where they were at the basketball court and they exposed the spaceship that they had and all of that. So the premise at the last movie was, hey, we're going to start sharing instead of continuing to hide.
they had to basically still report to the United Nations. They had to go to court to the
Oh,
United Nations where the
so
colonizers
now they got a
that they
boss.
taking on. Yeah, so yeah, they still have to go to the United Nations. They got to answer to the United Nations and kind of socially cooperate with the world governments.
Oh,
And so again, I'm not going to spoil the movie. You got to check it out yourself. But what I find interesting though, right? Hollywood, man, Hollywood. You got to understand. Let's just get some facts here. We live in a man's world. James Brown said it best. All right, and that's just something that you got to deal with, whether you like it or not. Who cares? This is the reality. We live in a man's world. There are no other ethnic groups that are run by women except for African Americans, Black people. So the women is the head of the household. That's problematic. Women were not built to go toe to toe with men. And so all these films, we just had the Queen or the African movie with
oh,
one
yeah,
dark skinned the dark lady. We just
yeah,
had
the
that movie to
queen.
drop.
Yeah, yeah.
I forgot what
Written
it's
by
called.
written by
Yeah,
two white lesbians, I believe it was.
yeah. Whoever got that movie title, drop that in the queue. But that movie again. So what did you see? You saw women, black women, wow, always just violence about black women. You never see white women cast themselves or any other women. So Indian women or no other women cast themselves. Black women are so dominant right now in these movies, right? And it's this real interest, masculine, real masculine. And I don't like those aspects of the depiction of black women being so masculinated. You know what I mean? And so that translated also to Wakanda Forever. You can see how like the men, the strongest guy, well, Lost Star character, the strongest male leaders are pretty much rendered useless and are weak. Whereas the black women, the warriors, they're stronger than like the black men. They're out here fighting men. So I find that very problematic because in the man's world, you got to have men to go toe to toe with. At the end of the day, we need our women, our queens, our supporters. But we as men have to fight the fight. So Hollywood is showing us our black women fight the fight. You remember what was the other movie that the weirdo guy, Jordan Peele made? Not Get Out, but Us.
Yeah.
Us, right? And the symbolism in his movie was really interesting because if you guys remember, go back to the movie and watch it. It was weird, but one of the key elements about the movie that I noticed that the black man, he was big. He was the first casualty. Okay, the father of the family got his knee knocked off, he was crawling and sprawling around on the floor, while the woman had to do everything. The kids, got the kids on it, she's running everything, dragging his ass in the car, handcuffed, handcuffed to the car, driving. He's on the passenger side, just can't do nothing. Been immobilized. And that's the kind of what I see comes through with Hollywood movies a lot is, the over masculination of black women, and it just proceeds to further our demise. Again, I told you, black women are not going to go toe to toe with white men, Asian men, or no men for that fact. They'll go work for them, they'll go get money, as they probably should. But at the end of the day, if your men are not in position, you don't have a society. You have a society that will obey and a society that will work with the others, that serve the others. All right, we have to have our men in power. So those are some of the things that you can see consistently across the spectrum here, brother. Now, y'all, what are your comments?
You know, very interesting. So, and I'm gonna relate this to the movie, to the science of getting rich. And I'm gonna relate it. How I'm gonna relate this to the movie. There's two. I'm gonna drop two jewels about the science of getting rich, of how you should carry yourself and look at yourself in your endeavors and what you do in life. As an investor myself, as a business owner, I have people uh, working with me. I never say working for me. I never use the word employee. Actually, it's a team. And so the two science of getting rich. One is always pay a person what they're worth. And how do I know what they're worth? I ask myself what I do for those hours. And that's how I look at what I. And so always pay a person what they are worth. One of the science of getting rich. If you extract money from someone, make sure that what you give them is triple or more of the value than what you sold it for. Okay? Always make sure. So you got two folds. When you have someone working for you, always give them what they're worth. If you're going to work for someone, give them more in value than the money you receive. The two ways, two secrets of getting rich. To understand that too. So it's always everything in universe is reciprocal. There's a give and take in the universe. If it's not, then it becomes detrimental. It hurts you if you don't receive the same thing you're giving out. Or whoever doesn't receive the same is getting less of it. They are getting the short end of the stick. So if you're walking in this universe of give and take, in the in the in the in the science of gravity and everything that we're dealing with out here, there's always reciprocal and the energy is equal. Always equal. So that's why I say, if you want more in life, give more. That makes sense. If I want more out of the people that are working with me, let me give them more and they will work more with me. If I'm working for someone and I'm getting the wage, let me give them more than the wage they're giving me. Guess what? That gives me more work. I learn more and that helps me to serve in order to come off of under service. I tell everyone, if you have a job, learn to serve to your utmost. And that's the way to come up under service. Now, why am I using that to this thing that we call food? Because if I sell a book and I sell that book for $13 a book, right? You should get more out of the book that's going to help you in value to your life than the $13 you paid for it. That's how you look at life, right? So you look at everything that way. That which you put your attention in, are you getting more value back than you paid to put the attention in? That's the question you have to ask. And if you ask those questions and you move in that fashion, you are moving towards the understanding of science of getting rich. What is the science of getting rich, right? So here we are now talking about a movie. The question becomes, inside of that illusion, the reason why I can go on about why I don't watch movies, because of the subliminal messages that launch in the back of your head that you don't see, right? We're not trained. But here you watch a movie, the question is, for my people, you can spend 2 hours watching that movie. Tell me this, when you came out of it, did it assist you in helping you understand how to build wealth, how to get along with your family, how to get along with your people? Did it tell you did it teach you about the real value is in your head, not something outside yourself? Because if you look around you, everything comes from the thought world. Everything comes from a thought world, and somebody's using our thought and our energy to advance their wealth. Okay, so there's $1 billion was made off the movie last time that movie came out, and they only dangled in front of you pennies. There's somebody white created the script, somebody black allowed to play in the script, right? And so it's a dangle, but they made $1 billion off of it. And I said this the last time that movie came out, that it was worth nothing, actually, not even worth the money you paid to go see it, because sure enough, we're in the same condition. We are still in poverty. We still don't know how to get along with each other. We still don't know how to extract this wealth and get it into our. We still don't know how to create and produce something out of our brain to share it with humanity. So somehow we are in this state of illusion, always fear, always something up against, where we always got something up against our back, right? If you're always in a state of fear and stress, guess what that do? That creates a hormone inside of your brain that's released that stops you from creating. Because the only way you can create, you have to be at peace and in love, right? You have to have love for yourself, number one, and you have to be at peace in order to create your world inside yourself. So here's the dangling man, the movie man, very magically put his movie in. This is something that black people know. We really don't get how they take our power from us and use it against us to advance their wealth. Look at our music. Aren't we the authors of that music? So why didn't we get paid? Look at all technologies and the things. Didn't it not come from someone black brain? Did not we travel and play that basketball really good and we move because of our rhythm? Somebody's using our talent again. Somebody's putting that in our head, and then someone benefits off of that, right? But we still don't get it because why? We in the Wakanda world. We in this world of this illusion, so much point that we have a temporary feel good like going to church. You go to church and you get that feel good from the preacher telling you that, but you go right back to your poverty mindset. You see, this is the same thing they've been doing for us for thousands of years, but we don't get it because we in this state of illusion. They took a concept of the religion, a religious concept of the miraculous birth of something, and they took it off the walls of the pyramids of miraculous birth of Haru, that they called him Horus when the Greeks got it, they called Horus, but the actual name was Haru, with his mother Isis, who was the god, like Mary the god, Mary God, right? Jesus birth, right? Miraculous, right? So they took a story, they whip it up, and they give it back to us, and this is how they control us. Ain't we not talking about our wealth inside the music business, how they took our shit, and we say, what? You took our shit? Look at white people, how they are playing music. Who taught them how to dance? Who taught them how to sing? See? So really, the real Wakanda is inside every black person's brain. That ability to see your ideal come into this reality, into this thought world. There is nothing more valuable on the planet than the human mind. Nothing is more valuable on this planet. And so somehow they whip it up to us. Just the same as Joe, you and I studied this thing, what they did in Chicago and DC, this thing I passed around, how a group of people came to meditate for a couple of days inside the summer in the highest murder capital of a city, highest murder. And they sat there and meditated for, I believe, 30 days, I believe, and crime rate went down 30%. Even the mayor, I got the study for you, even the mayor himself said the only way the crime will go down like that is if there was a foot of snow. So what we're talking about, we're talking frequency and we're talking vibration. But who controls the frequency? BET. Who controls the dial? News, Viacom, you see, moviegoers. So here we were just talking about being pissed at some Jews because of their movie, and we flocked to give him our money. We flock and we fight. There was fights over that movie too. People were fighting to get in that movie. Who were they? They were us. You see, all about an illusion that at the end of the day, you ain't learned nothing about how to get along with your people. You ain't learned shit about how to build this wealth. You ain't learned nothing about how to use your brain. You know nothing about the connection between your gallbladder and your stomach, and your gallbladder and your organs and all your kidneys and how you flush out. We still don't know nothing about ourselves while we're still relying on the white man to give us a little dangling just to make us feel good. So the rest of this week, we will talk about Wakanda, which is just a state of an illusion, but we still deny the ability of the brain of how we can advance our life. We still under this real illusion here. They still got us dangling. They're dangling something in front of our face. Yeah, black man, black power. But yet it doesn't translate to nothing for us in the bottom line. While those who are really wealthy, those are the ones who are the executive who made the movie, those who are producing the movie. They're the ones gonna make $1 billion off of it, while they only give us crumbs. And we excited about it. But again, at the end of this, you will never get nothing out of it equal to what you watch. This is what I just started out about learning to get more out of that which you got. What the question is, if you spend $25 for a movie that you spend an hour for, did you get the value triple more than what you pay for your time and money than you watch it? And the answer is absolutely no. You know why I know it's no? Because no one's talking about how we can come together and pool our money together to create our own Rwanda. We off into that state of illusion. Clip your heels, Dorothy. Clip your heels, Dorothy. Wake the fuck up, right? It's just an illusion. Hello.
Hey,
I want to.
hey, Pierre, can I read a couple comments first before you respond? Okay, let's read a couple comments here. Number one, I put up something about neurolinguistic programming, okay, because even as Pierre was talking, that's one of the things that came to mind. Neurolinguistic programming is something that has been used in sales for many years, right? And when it comes to television programming, it is something that is so subliminal that is used all the time. And Tony Robbins talks about the top five NLP techniques. Imagery training, sometimes called mental rehearsal, is one of the classic neurolinguistic programming techniques based on visualization. Okay? Imagine all of these things that I read, these top five NLP techniques. Imagine how, if you really sit back and think about it, imagine how it's being played off in movies, television, commercials, radio programs. Modeling is one of the NLP training techniques that has gained the most attention and is based on the law of attraction. Mirroring is also ruled. Just 7% of your message is communicated through words. Your tone of voice contributes to 38%. Your body language communicates 55% of your message. So just imagine that 738-55 rule of mirroring, how that plays out in the movie. Tone of voice, voice inflection, their body language or something, and subliminally that hits us mentally, right? Incantations are more powerful versions of affirmations, which are one of the more mainstream neurolinguistic programming techniques. An affirmation is a phrase you repeat to yourself about the week. So incantations can take it a step further, changing your physiology as well as your words to create a state of total confidence. So I feel like it's one thing to see something, but it's another thing to actually apply it. Kari Muhammad, he says, our people in the U.S. are infatuated with the idea of freedom and independence that the Black Panther movie portrays, not realizing this is a normal way of life for other people around the world. Minus the superpowers and fictional technology, we don't realize we could option all of this, but we stay in a dependent and fictional mentality. Right? So again, application is totally different. We can watch something. Hey, I know some preachers out there that teach about finance and other things but do the people go home and apply it? No. But even those teachers like that are few and far between. Let's see. Give global interventions in education, Sister Angela Brown Jackson, that was just on. She says Black Panther 2 is magnificent, powerful, and inspiring. There are many golden nuggets, including showing encouraging and uplifting us to strive to become self-sufficient, industrious, creating and involving us to be unified with working together in harmony and love. We must overcome fear, false evidence appearing real, and getting caught up in the Hollywood fantastical, fanatic illusion of casting spells. Woo, man, picture right there. We talked about that. Very few movies created, especially today, offer any hope or inspiration in media that is designed. Absolutely. Let's see. speaking nothing but yeah. What's on your
So,
brain, brother?
yeah. I agree with most of what John was talking about. Some stuff I disagree, especially on religion. Um, but I'll say this, man. When I was younger, I used to be more dogmatic in my approach, right? There's a video game called The Sims. I don't know if you ever heard of The Sims.
Yep,
Video
yep.
game, I think it still exists. But I used to play this game called The Sims, and The Sims is a game that's about life. And it's an interesting game. You have a character who's starting out in life, and you're trying to navigate him through life. You have to, basically direct him for everything in life, like whether it's love, relationships, friendships, food, eating, cleaning, then you have to clean your house and all this stuff. It's a really detailed game. But one of the things that's interesting is that in the game itself, you have all these different meters that you must, have a satisfactory level of in this person who's a representation of a human in order for them to achieve and do things. Right? You have to learn how to read so you can get better jobs. So you're learning. You have to read books. You have to also get enough sleep so you can perform well at work. So work also, he has to collect his mail from the mailbox. He has to pay his bills on time, or like get cut off, get evicted. I mean, it's a real life game. One of the interesting things about playing this game, though, is that um, when I take my guy to read, I'm trying to get him. He starts off in life with like the minimum wage, but in order to get a better job, he has to educate himself. And I can educate him, and then he gets to a point where he has maxed out on his education, where he's no longer even like paying attention no more. He actually grows unsatisfied. And so to create a balance, like Angela was talking about earlier, to create a balance, he has to do other things in life. One of those things is, friendship, socialization with other people, develop the friendship. So you have to develop friendships and relationships, love. He has to date people and stuff like that. He gets rejected, he gets still hurt, but he gets better, right? And as he talks better and get more educated, he gets better quality women, right? This is the character in the game, but also entertainment. He has to have parties, so he can, have the spirit uplifted. And once he gets those things, those meters of those things in his life satisfactory level, he then can perform better at jobs. He then can go back and learn more stuff like that. So when I say I used to be dogmatic in my approach, I was just like, yeah, I need to never watch TV and stuff like that. But just watching that video game, understanding how humans work, it's one of those things where entertainment has always been a thing of humans since the beginning of time. Even in the tribes, they would do dances and, they always had dances. That's entertainment. They would do plays, right? You watch a lot of the old movies, you see them mocking the kings and stuff like that, doing plays. Entertainment's always been a part of, human society. So I don't think there's anything wrong with entertainment. I know the message here is to get the education, get the value, but are we machines? No, we're not. We're humans. And so you can make time for entertainment in your life. Now, what type of entertainment you're getting involved in, I think that you can, we as a people can be more selective with that. You don't have to get a strip club to have fun. You don't have to, yeah, nobody can have fun. There's other ways to have fun in life and entertainment. But the movie itself, like what Sister Angela was saying, like the movie was pretty powerful. Um, Besides the economics of the fact, the message that was getting out was pretty good to see black people, and to be, showed in such a glory, which you normally don't see in film. That's been one of the issues that I've been, supposed to watch movies for entertainment. Black people are only drug dealers, sports players. That's all you get, nowadays. Drug dealers and sports players. 50 Cent, he's responsible for a lot of TV shows right now. All of his shows are glorifying the destruction of the black community. That's why I don't watch that. I'd rather watch fantasy than watch that. That's actually real life. Like, I can go to any hood right now and get attacked right now, and it's not if I needed to. You know what I'm saying? Or if I felt like I needed to. That's basically, I don't like watching those films, and then it glorifies, the gang culture and all this stuff. Like that's just too negative, and it's destructive. To have a movie, that's more positive, that is a positive for black people, I think it's a good thing. I'm not going to criticize it in that way, because again, out of your, 8 hours a day that you're working, you're going to want to be fresh as a human so that you can, continue to do work and be more productive. And, entertainment, it's not a bad thing to go catch a black country. I think we should have more movies that show black people in excellence, and not just excellence, but just showing that we can achieve. Just that whole hope thing. Like without hope, you can destroy, a whole nation. If you don't have hope. So I guess I give a little pushback on that. Yeah, we do need some kind of hope.
Are we stuck in hope though? I mean, that's part of the question. Are we
Yeah, we get
stuck in
turned to hope.
hope as a
You
people?
have to, so you have to turn again. We're talking about metaphysics now, right? Hope, dreams, right? In the Bible, a lot of things are revealed to dreams. Dreams are metaphysical, right? And so that's the same ideas. I believe they're divine. I think they come from God. You can believe whatever you want, but I believe they come from God. And ideas, the ideas, they're not physical, it's metaphysical it's in your head. But that's where everything starts. The genesis of all those things. You have an idea. Any business I started in the past, I dreamed about it. I realized it in my imagination. I saw it. You know what I'm saying? Like I saw it. I saw the impact it had on people before I took action to bring it into fruition. Before I started to deal with the physical, it was here in the brain. So to plant a positive seed, nothing wrong with that. You actually need more positive seeds. Think about it. That's the alternative in life. This is all about alternatives, right? So if you're not going to be in the class 24/7, 24 hours out of the day, what else are you doing with your time? You need time to relax. You need time to have fun and other things in life, right? So we're not all in the schoolhouse educating all the time. Everything that we do doesn't have to be education, right? And you see that the richest people in the world are not robots who enjoy life, right? And they make their money too. So we can't have that as a premise. Oh, all we have to do
Yeah,
is
but
learn and learn and learn.
but didn't those people already focus on doing the hard work to get to where they are? So now they can afford the ability to, entertain themselves a little bit more. And I don't mean financially, I just mean,
Wow.
they put in the hard work. So, okay, all right.
Okay. I'll give you this. Some people, right? Look at Warren Buffett, for instance. I don't know if you guys watched the Warren Buffett documentary. It's a really good one. You should watch it. Warren Buffett, he's a master of the interest rate, right? Talking about, interest rate king, that's him. Like, that's where he maximized the dividends, the yield. And the movie's interesting because he has a wife and he loses his wife, right? I mean, his wife actually went to Cali and was messing with black dudes. It's interesting. Warren Buffett, a black dude was knocking off Warren Buffett's wife. He was so, possessed with his money that he paid no attention to his wife. He wasn't romantic of the guy. He provided her with money that was it. But he had no way of communicating with her, connecting with her in any kind of way. She felt that connection elsewhere. She left him actually and he loved her. Like he never married another woman. He just died. The next one he married was her best friend because she told her best friend to take care of him. She was not Cali. And he used to think she actually wanted a lot of black dudes. Like she's really like about the black stuff. She messed with black dudes. So a lot of millions of dollars she got from Warren Buffett even after she left to take care of her. But he was so focused on money, he still had no connection with his wife. He lost his whole wife. I mean, like, this guy just possessed with money. You know what I mean? There's more to life than that. That's something in my own journey that I realized. Like, that's like travel, see the world, take my family out, do other things besides money. I'm working in capital markets. I'm dealing with investment bankers and stuff all day. But I'm a human being at the end of the day. I want to have some laughs. I want to do stocks and hit the movies or just
And
be in the
and I
company
think
of other
what I
people.
was saying more so here was not about uh accumulating the wealth and how they can entertain themselves. I'm talking about they've afforded the ability to entertain themselves because they've gotten past the mental breakdown of I can't, and they are in the space of I can, and they have the track record to prove it, right? So they've created that. Whether I'm not, again, I'm
Yeah,
not talking about dollars, but you're talking about people that are so easily swayed because our lives have all been focused around being led by the Pied Piper in some way, shape, or form,
right,
right? So
right.
mentally, we seem to be very easily swayed. So the question is, can we afford to go and entertain ourselves in such a manner?
Of course, we're humans. We're not machines. You gotta understand we're humans. That's why I was thinking about the video game The Sims. It teaches you how to be a human. That you have to eat, right? Remember, I talk about human accident
That's
every week, right?
teaching people
Hold on.
how to stay online and have a fake person online and jump into the metaverse. That's what that's teaching people.
No, as a as a human being, humans, we're not all motivated by things of this world. You have some people that live in isolation. You have people that live in caves and mountains and they stay in prayer 24/7. Would that make you feel fulfilled in life? They sustain for anything in life. life, and they eat the holiest meals, and they don't interact with people. They live in a cave 24/7. You have these people, the Coptic Christians in Egypt. This is how they live. Is that a life fulfilling for you? In a free world, you can do as you please, right? You want to go and create your business. You want to play video games for a living. You want to start a YouTube channel and make money off of that. Like you have that freedom to do so, whatever is going to, fulfill you in life. And so there's so many ways to wealth. More than one way to skin a cat, not just one way. The smartest people I know are not the richest people I know. I promise you, Donald Trump, he's rich and he ain't one of he ain't the brightest tool in the bag. You feel me? There are lots of rich people. Again, getting wealth is a combination of a lot of
we
things.
keep ending up at money and dollars. I'm
Yeah.
talking more mental wealth than anything else. I feel like we as a people need to gain that mental wealth so that we can apply it into our own lives, so that each one teach one. If this person is dope, then the people around them about to be dope, then the people around them about to be dope. But when I say dope, I'm talking that they got their shit together so that we are not so easily swayed mentally by the programming that is out there.
But you gotta understand, we live in a system, a capitalist system, right? So because you live in a capitalist system, it's individuals before the collective, right? So individuals pursuing our own, pursuit of happiness, right? And again, um, certain things in the movie, right? Wakanda monopolizes commodity. What commodity do black people have today? Wakanda has vibranium. What commodity do black people have today, right? I mean, there's lots of ways to look at commodities. Look at the children that we produce. What do we produce? I look at the Indians, like I did you talking about NLP, right? I have a data science certification. I've done, programming with Google TensorFlow, and I work with Indians in India, and we communicate each other and train. But I look at what they are producing. They're not smarter than you. I promise you, they're not smarter than you. I guarantee you, they're not smarter than you. But it's interesting to see their entire culture is focused on the same thing. They actually are all trying to get out of their state of poverty. Our poverty here in America is actually their poverty in those other countries is not the same. Like they don't have big screen TVs, days on their feet, and a deep freezer full of food. We're too comfortable over here in our poverty, and that's the problem with the welfare system. The 1930s, talk about FDR creating the welfare system. Talk about like ghettos. Think about ghettos, project housing, stuff like that. All this was created in the 1930s. Right? The project housing, first project housing was Wood Homes in Atlanta, Georgia, 1935. FDR, I told you, changed the whole landscape of America. But that's the type of stuff that keeps us hindered because we become dependent on government. For other people, who are the foreigners, they are not dependent on government. They do not want the government in their life at all. What black people need, in my personal opinion and my expertise, what I'm looking at is black people need more freedom. We don't need government involved in our life. We need to have more freedom. The more freedom, the more productive people can be. And what Wakanda had was a commodity. Just think about what commodities, right? The commodities that we're producing are human athletes. Think about it. Our richest, our most successful ones are the basketball the football players and this, that, and the third, right? So we're more into the entertainment space in itself. And we got the rappers, the singers, the dancers. Entertainment is our hub. That's, Kanye was saying how the Jews control the place that we supposed to be, dominating in. But, we are just physically there performing the task while they actually on the screen. And so in order to change that paradigm, we actually have to go into ownership. So the key system, the key ingredient to a capitalist society is private property. And private property means ownership. Because we have to have ownership. If we don't have ownership, production. My family, I was fortunate that my mom married into a Liberian family. So, I have African family. My grandfather, they had lots of land in Africa, and they had trees. And if you ain't never been to Africa, imagine trees that grow rubber. They have rubber trees. You have rubber plantations in Africa. They take a stick and beat the bark of the tree to get the rubber to come out. The rubber to drip. Rubber is like liquid. It drips and it buckets attached to rubber. And my grandfather was telling me how the Chinese are, trying to buy out land that they have because they want to make tires and stuff like that. And Africa is full of resources, right? And so how is it that these other people can have the intelligence to own and control the natural resources, the commodities in Africa over the African people? This is the stuff I was asking about last week, John, where we have a lot of talk about how we're so strong and dominant physically, but the war is actually an intelligence war, it's a mental war. And so it appears to me that we are in a mental inferior stage, and we need to elevate our mentality, and our intelligence to compete at this intelligence war.
But how can
We
we
want to
do
call it
that
a
if
war.
we're stuck in the ideology of an elusive world that we don't apply to the real world?
So take a look at this. Take a look at this. Every technology that you can see today, Hollywood put it on the screen with an imagination. All right, space, space stuff, Star Wars, Star Trek, all these things, people imagination or illusions. Those illusions are seeds planted into humans to put it into action. And remember, hope is a key ingredient for people to listen. If you're watching 50 shows all day, your kids are watching it all day, what kind of kid are you going to be? He's watching BMS, are you watching all this drug dealing stuff that people out here producing? You're going to produce a drug dealer, okay? That's what you're going to do.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah, that's what you're going to do.
There's potential that that's going to happen than not.
But if you watch like a Wakanda kind of movie, I mean, you're gonna produce a better quality child than the child is watching drug dealing stuff because all he sees is, he's glorifying that. He's gonna end up dead in jail. Versus the kid that's saying, hey, I want to make this world a better place. You can't create a heaven on earth. Can you make it a better place? Yes, you can make it a better place. You can't make it perfect. It wasn't intended to be perfect. But can we make it a better place? And I think Wakanda Forever comes off in such a way that it provides that seed that people can then take and then produce something.
So, Brother John, again, y'all sit and y'all watch Brother John, and you'll see different body language that tells certain things, and it's very interesting as you get to know people over periods of time. But you got something on your brain, man, and I want to hear it. So could you bring that into this dimension, please?
Yeah. So a lot of times, what we do basically, and this is very interesting. Um, and I noticed it. I just have talked with my girl about this yesterday. On sometimes we jump over things because we didn't do something so easy. So it's like it was skipped over. So I'm speaking about cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone that is released into the brain that makes you get prepared for battle, or it makes you get prepared to defend yourself, right? See, we're always at odds. We're trying to find our history. We go get in discussions about whether you're black, whether you're Moor, whether you're this, or whether you're that. We are talking about poverty issues, or whether white man has got this, the 1% is we did, the 99%. All of these are signals, stress signals to the people who are listening. These are called stress signals. So you can look this up. Cortisol is a hormone that releases from the brain. Cortisol. It's a chemical that's released from the brain. The Jesuits said back in the 1500s, and I quote, "Give me a child until he's 7, and I'll show you the man." What is he talking about? He's talking about program. You see, a child when it's in its third trimester to the 7 years old is under a wave called the theta wave, a state called the theta wave, which is the form of hypnosis. Please Google it and look it up and just prove me wrong, right? And so during this stage of this 7 years is when most of your programming happens from birth to 7. Most of your life right now is based on theta wave programming. You don't know the programming. You don't see it because it's already you. And so when I speak, Joe, you and I, we did a show dealing with I am. And anything behind the I am is a program. I am is just who I am. But the mindset wants to know, who are you? So if you was to ask me, who am I? You want the program name. Program. You black, program. You Muslim, program. You Christian, program. You Moor, program. No matter what it is behind the I am, there's a program. You don't get the program, nor would you concede to the controlling of the program through media. Y'all don't get that because you know why? How you know? Y'all didn't get it? You didn't. You ran over it. You didn't get the fact, you're not getting the fact that you are being programmed, and all you following is a program, a dangling program that's not going to advance you as an individual, nor is it going to advance you as a people. All I heard was hope. Listen, your real Wakanda, your real value is not in a mineral. Your real value is your creativity, which is your imagination. You can imagine yourself in a better condition that you are in and watch the universe shape your life into that condition. Name me a mineral that can do that. You can't, because we're passing over, again, the real quality of you as a person, which is in the back of your brain. So they use television. Tell what? A vision. Whose vision you telling, right? You thinking Wakanda is a vision for us? They wouldn't put nothing on TV that would advance you as a people. You know why? Didn't see the subliminal messages. Those little things in the back of the scene, you didn't pay attention to because you didn't see it. Your subconscious mind saw it. Go Google subliminal messages banded in the 50s, how they still doing it in movies today. Go Google what Walt Disney used to do with the cartoons, sex images inside the background drawing of the cartoon that they used to do back in the 50s. You don't know about subliminal messages. I'm sorry, y'all don't understand how this man works. And so we continue with this same cycle because we're not understanding that we are their ticket. As long as we are distracted, we're not producing. And when we're not producing, guess what you are doing then? You are providing the production of someone else who's using your brain to produce something. This is why dangling. Pay attention to where somebody kills somebody black and watch the word. So and so, another black man killed. Do you know these are money words? These are words to trigger your emotions to go do something and react. You react because you are emotional over this word black that you have attached your emotions to. And that right there is the dangling. We don't get that. So here I am talking about mindset. Here I am talking about that there is no such thing as poverty. It's only a poverty mindset of how you see yourself. I can prove with anyone there is no such thing as poverty. And I can also prove there's no such thing as slavery. It's all a mindset. So the question is, where's your mind? Tell me, show me somebody that has you see as successful, came out the hood. And then you ask yourself, why can't I do that? You will find the mindset. You will find that that person did something particular to get there out of that condition or to gain their freedom, right? What we call freedom, movement, freedom of the speech, right? Freedom of the main thing is movement, freedom to have a passport, freedom to have a business ID, freedom to start a business, freedom to start to buy land, right? So we're talking mindset. We're always talking mindset here. The masses of the people are under a spell. You see, the masses of the people right now today are under a spell. They don't know they're under a spell. And this is what I'm trying to teach and talk about is that your real gift is what your creator gave you inside of your imagination that can change the condition of your life yourself. The greatest thing you can do is learn how to create and access that ability of your own mind. If it is true, tell me it's not though. If it is true that I can use my mind to change my condition, question is, why ain't we using it? Because we are under a spell, we don't know the ability. This is why I started out talking about when you're selling something or you're buying something. When you're selling something, always give them more than what they're paying for. If you're buying something, if you're buying something, make sure you're going to get more out of it than what it costs you. This is the secret of getting wealthy. What are you doing to create what's in your head? You're looking at a thought world. You are actually living in a thought world of consciousness. Oh, this is a hard one to get. The hardest thing to get is for people to understand that the conditions of your life is what you have put forth. You don't know that because you're still pointing fingers out. You're still waiting for the Jesus, the Mahdi, or the Messiah to come save you when you are looking outward for your salvation, when you don't know that it's in you. It's already in you, baby. You can extract whatever wealth you want. You can extract whatever lifestyle you want. You want to be happy, you can change your mindset. Trust me, you will be happy. We don't see it because we are under the spell. Yet we still talking about a fucked up movie that's only going to keep you more under the spell. It's hard to get people out of the spell. That's one thing, my work that I tell you is the hardest thing to do is get you out of the spell and see that it's you, not this white man, not this fool, not none of that. We can imagine the life that you want based upon you're changing your thought process and believing. Listen, if you don't believe me, go study placebo. Why they tell you here, take a sugar pill and it will heal you. You can use that same concept in your life and you will win. It's called mindset. What you believe will come true. You have to believe that you have the ability to compete in this thought world, but you don't know that. You don't have a clue that ideals are fashioned in the brain first. The question is, what are you fashioning that you plan to bring into this existence? If your answer is no, obviously you're distracted from yourself. That's the point. So I don't give a damn how much you talk about what you got out the movie, what it was about. Hey, black people, you're not going to see any benefit. You didn't get no benefits from the first movie. We still killing each other. We still ain't producing nothing as individuals, that is. We still don't know how to spend money amongst each other. And we still giving our money away from people who we say we don't like. You're still going to the movie, but yet you say you want to support Kanye. But the movies is owned by the Jewish people. You're still giving them your money, and they're still giving you back nothing for your viewing of the movie and the nothing for the money. I always say, if you want to read a book, make sure you read a book that you can advance with. That's going to give you in value more than what you pay for. That's why I started this. So you can't show me no value. None of you can show me a value in the movie that's more than what you paid for. So therefore, you in the state of this illusion that's dangling. That's all I'm hearing is dangle. The dangle illusion is what you are impressed with. But it's getting you nowhere, and this is the problem with black people. And let me end by this. Here's the problem with Africa, the continent of Africa, and the people on it. The people are in the same condition we are in. You know what that is? They don't know what's beneath their feet. And so the Europeans and the Asians are coming to buy the land because they know what's beneath their feet. It is the same thing. We don't understand what we all have power in that's beneath our own feet. So they use our power just like they're getting ready to use up and dig up Africa and get all those minerals in the ground and use it for their benefit. Over here, they dig up all of our minerals out of our brain and they use it for their benefit. They constantly do this trick to us, and yet we are producing nothing, absolutely nothing. But continue, and you will see next year there'll be another movie out, and we'll still have the same condition as the people we're in, fighting to go see a movie that ain't gonna do us any good. And so here's the thing: you can play all you want. You can play all the games and do all the travel you want. You think that's what life's about. I'm sorry, it's not. There's only two things you are here for. That's experience and express. You know why foreigners come over here and they ain't got time to play no damn game? They're here getting their wealth and sending their wealth back home and taking care of their family. This country is about getting your money. It ain't about play. Play is for the sucker. Play is for those who just kind of lost over a sucker unless you done gained your wealth. If your ass is under a poverty status in your mind, your ass ain't got time for playing. You got to buckle up. That's why these foreigners come over here, work 2 or 3 jobs. Next thing you know, they got stores. And we're going to their stores giving them our money, right? Because we don't have the ability to do it because we're caught up in what? Movies and games. They ain't playing games. That's why these foreigners who are less than us, meaning in the numbers, and they're winning. They're winning all the wealth. They're sending it back home. They're gaining. What we're doing, we're playing and watching movies. That's what we're doing. We into the games. video games, movies. We're doing stuff that's not going to benefit us in life. It's not going to benefit you. So when you as an individual have to ask yourself, where in life is what you're doing benefiting you? And if it's not benefiting you, then you need to stop it or stop complaining that the white man's the devil and he's doing that dangling thing. Kanye was right. Slavery is a choice. And y'all choosing it every damn day by watching that kind of shit. You're choosing the condition in your mind right now by allowing them to put into your brain that trigger that triggers your emotion. And that's how they get.
So I want to respond because he said a lot. I know we were coming to a close. He said a lot, but he's always coming to us. I greatly appreciate it. If you guys are logged in with us on the show, hit that like, share this video, hit that like button a million times with the algorithm video up here. All right. So my brother,
Hey, before you do that, real quick, John, what was that thing that you were giving away to the person that hashtag?
Absolutely. 16 jars of spices. Whole pack ain't even been open. And since Thanksgiving coming up, that other day of everybody just eating like crazy, right? And this will be perfect for you. This will be perfect for you and your seasoning of your food. And if the one that taps in, what is the rule? Tap in most of the people, tag them into this tipping point. I'm gonna ship this to you. I'm gonna pack it up and I'm gonna mail it.
There you go. Hashtag the Tipping Point Morning Show. Like, share, and comment. Hashtag the Tipping Point Morning Show. Like, share, and comment. Hashtag the Tipping Point Morning Show. Like, share, and comment. Appreciate you, family. Go ahead, Ian. Take it away.
All right. So again, I like to bring my economic perspective to the table here. And I know that John is pretty, dealing with the mentality of trying to get people, to deal with the mental state of things. But I would like to, give a little pushback, and maybe not give pushback. Well, me and brother, yeah, we debate often, so he knows where I'm coming from. But you said that poverty it doesn't exist. I like to counter
Okay.
and explain that poverty is the natural state of man. Poverty um, cannot be created. Poverty is the natural state or the original state of man. Only prosperity can be created. When you're born in this world, you have nothing. Guess what? If you do nothing, you continue to have nothing. You continue to operate in poverty. You must produce wealth and prosperity. That means you must take nothing and turn it into something. All right. If you fail to do anything, right, you don't operate and shut your business down right now, you're surely going to fall to poverty, guaranteed. So I'd like to say that the poverty actually exists as the natural state of man, and that's the reason, that's the importance of productivity. We have to be productive, generate wealth and prosperity to improve the standard of living, our standard of living, or our quality of life. Secondly, I believe in a free society where no one can tell you what you need to be doing in life. Guess what? Often, I can tell you that there are lots of people that generate wealth using anti-conventional, wisdom. We were just talking with my daughter, and we were talking about the casting outside girl. I was in, ignorant chick. Made over $40 million online. Pure ignorance. And one day, I believe, $40 million. There's so many ways to grow. There's not one way to grow. Timing is a thing. This guy had the greatest idea in the world. I saw the guy who's the engineer of Apple. He created a smartwatch that I'm using right here in the 80s. Guess what? It was a long time. We had virtual reality in the 80s. I don't remember. Nothing new. The timing is another aspect of the thing. So, people that's, trying to produce wealth and have a business, like Master P. I love Master P because he's constantly generating businesses after business. And guess what, man? All your businesses ain't going to succeed. And Master P said, all it takes is one. All it takes is one. So what you're doing today may be a good business strategy, but the timing may be wrong. Timing may be bad, I should say. So it's a lot of different aspects to actually getting wealth. The network, who you know, it gets in the position of power. So there's so many aspects to it, and to have a life that's fulfilling. I know you said it like life is about experience and stuff like that. Like I said, there's some people who live a life. And again, I don't dictate how people live their life, but there's some people who live a life that focus on the afterlife, like the Coptic Christians, right? They live in prayer 24/7. They don't do nothing. Okay, so you talking about somebody who's not getting no kind of program at all? Those are the people there. They also ain't getting no phone. you value boom boom more than other stuff. Boom boom, you're gonna have to start learning some ways of the world. Listen, you're gonna have to know how to treat a woman. You're gonna have to know how to entertain them. Women are really sharp up here and the emotions, not the physical. Men, we're like into the physical. For women, you have to be able to get into their brain. That's why you get flowers. You're signaling things. Animals do this, right? Their little feathers trying to get into our imagination. You know what I'm saying? So there's other things in life that's beyond education and stuff like that. And I value education. I run Wall Street Fat Boys. You guys want to learn, economics and finance and stock trading and stuff like that. We do that Wall Street Fat Boys. I'm all about it. But again, as I've matured, I understand that not to be so dogmatic in my approach. And again, I was telling you guys about the Sims video game. I'm living a life of feeling. If you take all your time and just study, like the top Christians doing prayer 24/7. And I get this. My wife has to realign me. Like, hey, bitch, we have to pay this some attention. You need to get the baby out. We need to we need to go on a date, all right? And I'm going to my studies, and I'm like hardcore, no stupid, do nothing. I can get real dogmatic with it. And I think a lot of us men can get that way. But at the same time, like Warren Buffett, when he gets like you lost your clean, B. So all that knowledge matters if you lost your clean. Like, okay, so we have to have a balance. So that's what my wife is always telling me having this balance. So sometimes you can come back with a refreshed mind. Sometimes I stay up to 4 o'clock in the morning trying to solve problems, trying to solve issues. And I will exhaust myself and I sleep and I dream about these things. I see problems and puzzles in my brain when I sleep. And I wake up exhausted with bags in my eyes. My brain is flushed. I can get that way. My wife has to sometimes make me go to sleep. She knows, she can see it. That's why you got to get yourself a good wife, fellas. She can see I'm burning out. Hey, baby, you got to get some rest. Guess what? Leave it alone tonight. You come back in the morning with a refreshed mind. And guess what? It always helps. It always helps. I can exhaust my brain, any kind of solve. But sometimes we can just take a step away into a different environment, going to the mountains, a breath of fresh air or something, and then that brings me back to perspective. I'm just unplugging from the internet world and just dealing with nature, going to the beach, listen to the ocean roar. All these things help mentally. And again, the seeds that have been planted, and I think John, he was saying how like commodities don't do anything. He's right. Like, energy doesn't do anything. The purpose of energy is to serve man, right? Oil exists in the earth. It never had any purpose until somebody imagined it. Freaking vehicle, all right, that can be gas powered, right? Automobile, transportation, all these things, humans must convert those commodities to something that can actually work. But the imagination is so powerful. And that's why I think that it could be a blind spot if you don't, recognize the imagination. That's what's important about the kids and young people today. In school, I homeschool. I encourage you to homeschool. You have that homeschooling is so great because my child is so creative. She's allowed to be very, very creative. She doesn't understand the strength of other kids go through. She don't have no same pressure. Just allow her to operate more freely and use her imagination to create things. As I was talking earlier, a lot of the devices that we use today was showed in Hollywood on some movie. Somebody just came up with an idea to fantasize about something that people can possibly do one day, and then somebody like Elon Musk will go and make go make the flamethrower, video games, stuff like that. These are different places that you can actually extract value from it, right? This is how you look at it, right? When you extract some value out of that thing, you see an idea. Microsoft and Apple went to Xerox and they saw everything that they needed to build Microsoft and Apple. It was already made. Xerox already made the PC, the computer, the keyboard, and the mouse. They took them on a tour and they saw it.
The Macintosh.
Yes, Microsoft. These guys and Bill Gates were best friends. Okay, these guys programming together. They went to a tour to Xerox and they saw that this is where the seed came from. So when people say, why was Steve Jobs such an asshole? Because he already saw what he needed for his engineers to make, and they was pissing him off because he already knew how it was supposed to have done it. So that's what I'm saying. Like the visuals help with the imagination, so that you can then transfer and convert it into something that's productive. So I think that those are the things. All in all, if you're gonna watch this, if you're not gonna watch this, that's fine. But if you're gonna watch a movie, I think it's a good movie. What's the alternative, John? You make a movie that people want to sit here and watch. I watch documentaries all the time. I can tell you, I am a boring movie watcher. Okay, I watch documentaries all the time. That's how I learn a lot. I like learning, and kids and my wife had and that's cool. And it's old, and I can't get with it. It's not stimulating my brain enough. And so I encourage people to make films and documentaries in a way that like how Hollywood does, right? You want to get your message out to education, you still have to be able to, grab people's attention. And so sometimes with all the education and all the other stuff, we talk about this stuff all the time. Look how many people are logged in right now, right? There's gonna be more people that's gonna watch Wakanda Forever that's gonna watch this podcast live because it's human. So as educators ourselves, we have to figure out that human element. So what's gravitating these people to these things? How can we actually utilize it to bring it to our format, to bring it to our platform, so we can share this value with? Those are the things.
So when we look at that, and appreciate you, Pierre, on that. Appreciate you, John, on that. I feel like there's a balance here, right? Somebody said something. Who is this? Frank Nato. He says we are all guilty of this, for real, for real. Just be thankful that you have the ability to change and recognize. So there's something within that is valuable to me. I think a lot of what I'm thinking about is the fact that let's see. El Teddy Wild, he says, no balance when you're poor mentally, emotionally, and physically. So if a person is poor mentally, emotionally, and physically, I don't know if they have the mental aptitude to go and see a Wakanda Forever and and then come home and apply some of the positive things they see into their own life. I don't know. Or maybe that could be the trigger for that. I don't know. But I think a lot of what, you know, is to be said about this is the fact that myself, if I go see this movie, which I'm gonna go see it today, it's strictly entertainment, and my mindset is such that it's not going to affect me at home, right? Now, I know people, we all know people, have seen people, we see a whole culture and society of people that look at certain things like rap, certain rap music, certain ratchet TV, and certain people with poor mindsets, that stuff sits back in their subconscious. And when the time is right, or better yet, we might say when the time is wrong, that shit comes out. And that emulation happens in real life because it's sitting in their subconscious and they don't have the mental aptitude to separate entertainment from real life. So their actions, people don't realize how that body language and everything starts to play a part in their real life, right? So I feel like there has to be a particular level of balance when it comes to this. Probably shouldn't be going to see movies, you know, I don't know. Like John said, you need to be focused on things that are going to empower you, things that you can grab from and apply into your everyday life, right? Because if we could get more of us doing that, then we as a people could move forward together, right?
Why would they
that's
do
the
that?
idea.
Well, why would they do that when they got welfare?
That goes back to the piece I said earlier, the piece that I felt about. Give me a challenge to E7 and I'll show you the man. We're seeing the man as we talk about him right now. The wrong person that is stuck in the illusion of this fictitious world. Now, let me answer this question about poverty. I like what the brother said. Poverty is not a natural state. In fact, no one's born poverty. And let me clear that up when I'm talking about poverty. If you are trying to say that wealth is based on things you accumulate, that is a false narrative. If you think that wealth is your money and how much money you have, that is a false narrative, and that's why you have none and you're not able to learn how to attract wealth. Here's where poverty, and here's where there is no such thing as poverty when I mentioned that it's a mindset. Let me explain it again about the conversation or the subject. Give me a child until he's 7 and I'll show you the man. Do you understand the concept of fadeaway and the ability to upload information in the brain? Are you saying that's a impoverished brain? Unless the brain is uploaded with impoverished information. Okay? but no one's born in poverty. Everyone has wealth. You're born in this world with these functions. These functions are wealthy. These functions, the ability to think and see and cipher, to figure out feelings of who's bad for you, who's good for you, using your fingers and communicating with your thoughts to your hand. And listen, having the ability to create. Just the ability to think of something that's not here is wealthy as fuck. The ability to imagine is the most wealthiest thing you have, and there is no such thing as poverty. There is no such
You're
thing.
wrong.
There is no such thing as poverty unless your poverty view is based on collection of things. And this is why people who are wealthy can still be depressed and not live their fullest life, not happy, because their emotions of happiness is based in things. I'm trying to tell you, and this is the ability to understand how your mind works, is that you are born wealthy mindset. Problem is your poverty is the way you're thinking. The uploaded information that is subconsciously uploaded that's keeping you from extracting your wealth. That which is keeping you from having the ability to create something out of here and bring it into this existence is wealthy. You cannot have nothing and be born in this world as a grown man. You know the first thing you're going to do? You're going to try to find food and shelter. That's intelligence, baby. That's wealthy. To be able to take a tree and take some limbs and chop it down and make some fire to get me some food and be able to create those limbs and create me a hut or a house by the end of the night. That is wealth. We got to understand wealth, your ability to walk, think, move is wealth is not based on. And once you realize that wealth, you can extract anything from a substance to gain you the material things that you call wealth. That's
So
what
you're
I'm
dealing with the mental, dealing with
I'm talking about the mental. I'm not talking about the physical. When I say there is no such thing as poverty, you have to understand the ability of the brain. You wasn't born impoverished. If that brain has the ability to have what? Creativity. No other animal on the planet can think about its tomorrow but the human being. Other animals and species can only live in the now based upon their instinct. We have the ability to think next week, next year, and plan for next week, next year. That's wealth. Regardless
I,
of
I, I
if
disagree.
you achieve it or not.
Here's a
I
piece here. Here's a
disagree.
piece
Yeah.
here. Pierre, when you think about this, because you keep saying, well, that's the mental, that's the mental, that's the mental. But the mental creates the physical.
That's right.
Right.
Everything that's in the physical is created by the mental. Therefore, the mental is really where it's all at. That's supposed to
No,
be
no,
the
no,
part.
no,
It's
no,
the
no,
most,
no.
it is the most wealthiest tool you have is your imagination. I'm trying to really get this in y'all's head.
And
I
it's the
got
one
you.
thing that
Hold on.
separates us from animals.
Yeah, but see, what John is talking about is the ability to produce wealth. Let me explain something to you, right? So, because again, what's happening here is that you're almost basically kind of redefining what wealth is, right? So, wealth, how do we define wealth? What is wealth, right? So, we have to have a sense on what wealth is. It's an abundance of something, right? An abundance of anything. You have an abundance of something. And so, when you have a mindset, that's one of the key ingredients that you need to be able to produce wealth. But see, knowledge is one of those things, right? Wisdom is putting that knowledge to action. You have lots of, ideas and stuff, but if you never actually put it into action, it doesn't produce anything. And so that's why I said that poverty is a natural state of man because you have nothing. And if you do nothing, you would truly fall into poverty.
That's incorrect. That's incorrect. If you have the ability to think, you can change your condition. That's the most wealthiest thing you have.
But what the blind spot that you have, brother Yah, is that has to be put into action. I don't care about the ability to. Everybody has the ability to, but everybody ain't wealthy. So what I'm saying is that you have to put this into action in order to produce wealth.
Oh no, I'm not denying that. That's secondary, my friend. What I'm speaking about is the primary. The ability to have the imagination is the most wealthiest thing you have. But you talking secondary. I'm talking primary. And the reason why people are unable to execute it is because of the programs that's stopping them from executing. I'm not talking about that. What I'm trying to tell you, everyone's born with an imagination, which is the most wealthiest thing your creator gave you, is to imagine. And that's it. How you use it and produce it later is another learned technique. But that's not the point I'm making. I'm trying to tell everyone you are wealthy and you have the ability to create. That's all I'm saying. And that is
okay. I got you. So I work in the world of economics. So in the economic science, that's why I'm describing it in such a way
correct.
that I agree with you that to have the ability is like that's one of the most valuable things that we have. We have the ability to do those things, right? And so that is great. But if you never do anything with it, I know people that I talk to all the time who tell me they want to do this, that, and the third. They've been saying the same thing for 4 or 5 years. Every time, oh, I want to start this business. Oh, I want to start this business. Oh, I want to start this business, man. What time do you start this?
That's my point, Pierre. That's why I'm saying everyone's born with wealth. Whether you use it to extract this material things or not.
That's nothing. That's what I'm saying.
It is everything because you can't have secondary without the primary. So why is it nothing? It's the primary thing you need.
No. Primary, what you're talking about are the ingredients, right? We call these goods of the first order, right? These are the things that we need to produce things, right? So the things that we need to produce wealth is first to have a mindset to be creative, right? We already understand that you need freedom also. You need the ability to have private property and all those things. Those are the primary ingredients. However, you have those things even in a nation like Africa, who you said earlier, had all these resources and did not know what to do with the resources, right? They had all those ingredients, but they did nothing with it. White people or other people, Arabs, whoever, don't have those natural resources. There's no such thing as equality, first of all, right? There's land inequality. There's certain nations that grow certain things and do certain things other nations don't have. And Africa has lots of resources. People come from nations that don't have no resources. So we have all this abundance, abundance of wealth, of gold and wealth of all these resources, and nobody's doing anything with it. That's why kings those days forced slavery on a lot of the people in Africa because it wasn't doing anything. It's just granted. There's that people who come from a nation that don't have these resources, like sugar, for instance, right? Sugar was more valuable than gold in Europe. That's why we had a transatlantic slave trade, right? They took people as a commodity to go and get the sugar to South America and sell it back as a commodity like stocks in Europe, right? So it's, to have the ability is not action. To have the ability is an ingredient. And so to have that ability, we all have it. That's great, but that's not wealth. If you do nothing with it, you surely will fall into poverty. You have to produce something. You have to produce prosperity and wealth. Only wealth and prosperity can produce poverty. If you do nothing, you surely will find yourself in poverty. So doing nothing will lead you to poverty. Production is the only key to getting to wealth. That's what I am.
Correct. I agree. This is why again I'm saying the creativity is the greatest thing you have. Secondary is learning how to take your creativity and bring it into its existence. That's the key. So let me re-mention something again as in my thesis of writing of how I discovered this mindset. Okay, from a prison cell, facing the death penalty, with nothing, absolutely nothing, right? And just the imagination of who I wanted to be, just that imagination itself vibrated the reality of the system around me, which is the magnetic force, to connect with what my thoughts were and put me in an exact position where I am today. That's why I'm speaking from that. I'm speaking from a mindset. You are wealthy, my people who are listening. You just don't know how wealthy you are because you're not practicing the mindset that you need to practice inside your imagination. If I'm a creator of products, I make products. Where do those products come from? My mind. My mind thought of it, and then as I thought of it, guess what? The universe moved people in my space to help me produce that product in this reality, whether they're from China, Taiwan, or India. It doesn't matter. The point is that it came from the thought first. Me and Joe, you and Joe, we were just having a conversation about thought process of the product that you want. And how, when you do that, didn't you say some things popped up in your face, the answer to what you were looking for that comes to you? You see, that's secondary. The most important thing you have, God gave you, is your imagination. And you are allowing other people to fuck with your imagination with subliminal messages in movies and television and songs that disrupt your ability to create. So I ask everyone, do you have something you're trying to bring out your brain to share with humanity? If not, then you're not creative enough. You are not using your imagination to see yourself better than who you are now. The ability from a jail cell facing the death penalty. Facing the death penalty, I had imagined I'm in this position. I'm facing the death penalty. You didn't hear me. I'm in solitary confinement. How did this happen? I didn't have this wealth. Shit. I'm saying is my mind attracted everything based on me changing the concept inside that jail cell. I didn't see myself low. I didn't see myself impoverished. I didn't see none of that. What I ran from I ran from being in jail, and I ran to my imagination. And my imagination connected with the universe, and the universe opened those doors for me in the Supreme Court when I got convicted, and they opened the doors and let me out. And now I'm doing exactly what I'm doing now. What I'm speaking for.
How did you get the idea that you had from materialism, or was it
No. The idea is this. It's taking the imagination as a child. Our children have imagination. Where did it come from? Their own imagination. Whether you're as a child, I used to take a pair of scissors and make it into a flying saucer. Children, the imagination of a child is preparing you as an adult to put things out because your creator, your God, wants you to create. Oh, he wants to experience too because he experiencing it through you.
So the idea comes from God.
No, I didn't say that. No, I didn't say where it came from. What I'm saying is everyone has an imagination. Do you know everyone has experienced this? I'm going to break something down that everyone in life has experienced.
And John,
What is the
before
idea
you break
come
that
from?
down, before you break that down real quick, because he's asking about where the idea came from. So you told this story before, and one of the things you notated, and I can't remember if you were in solitary confinement or something like that, but the whole idea was you were purposely imagining better for yourself so as to not get caught up in your immediate surroundings.
No, let me explain.
Okay.
I elevated who I thought I was in my dream of imagination. I asked a young man that went to go become a doctor, and he said he didn't believe in that. I said, wait a minute, before you became a doctor, did you not imagine yourself wearing that white coat? Did you not, before you became a doctor, before you decided to be a doctor, did somehow you imagine what that looked like in that white coat? There it is. Those things give you the energy to move forward that which you want. While at the same time, that is moving that in your direction towards you. So what I'm trying to say is that I was so depressed that I wanted to escape. And the only way I could escape was to imagine I was a Superman or a Batman or a better man. Regardless, I had begun to play it out as though it was me. And that's what I'm trying to explain that we don't get apparently is that I'm going to say it again. I'm going to keep saying it. The imagination is the greatest tool your ass have on the planet. And you're not using their imagination. You're not using it to the fullest. That's what I'm saying. If you concentrate on thinking of something, and I can give you books on I can give you books on magnetation, on personal magnetism. I can give you books on how the brain works, right? And how this function works inside the brain. That if you focus on something so hard, it becomes a material in your brain. And you focus on it so hard till it become a material out here. It's called psychoneuroimmunology. And it's called having a thought in your brain to connect with reality out here. There is no such thing as poverty. There's only a impoverished mindset. If you don't know you have that ability, that's a impoverished mindset. And you stuck in the condition of it.
You will surely fall into poverty. So again, I'm going to
Absolutely.
But I will recommend this book arguably the greatest economist to ever live. There's lots of volume things. Later in his life, he starts to deal with a lot of philosophical things, philosophy, and theories of history, epistemological things, and a lot of stuff. Right? He just, started kind of get away from economics a little bit. And the reason I asked you this question about where does the ideal come from, because it's an argument that is actually in there. Okay, and the argument was something that the socialist Marx and them, they believe in the dialectic of materialism and stuff like that. And so the argument is about materialism versus like metaphysics. Okay, where do ideas come from? He actually addresses the questions in this book here called Theory of History. And basically, Marx believed the ideas came from materialistic things. The ideas come from. So the question I'm asking is, where do you believe the ideas come from? I know me as a Christian, I believe that the ideas come from God. I think that ideas come from the divine one, our creator. I think it comes from a metaphysical, process versus material
I
process.
think we all can agree on with that.
I don't know if it's true, because most atheists, I believe in most
Well,
of them are
the three of us
materialists.
here, I believe, can agree with that.
Okay, so the materialism means like, okay, I got this idea because of all the physical things around me, and that's where the idea came from. And in the Bible, specifically, you can see how God came to people in dreams to reveal things. And in my dreams, things revealed to me. Like you said, a business you want to start, or whatever, or there's an idea. Where did the idea come from? My mom always said, "Hey, God gave me this idea to start a cleaning business. As a cleaning business. God gave me this idea to go buy this land. Right? Bought some land this past week. Where does ideas come from?
Let me answer
Maybe
that.
there could be another topic. Maybe there could be another one of our shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I kind of want.
And let me answer that thing about ideals. Okay, so everyone has experienced this, and I love talking about things that are universal, that everyone has experienced. And in your lifetime, you have seen something or witnessed something, and you have said in your lifetime, maybe as a child, I can do something better than that. I wonder if it was shaped like this, would it hook on better that way? I wonder if it was looking like this, oh, that can help this out in the process of washing dishes. You're always thinking of something that comes because the man is always searching. The frontal lobe of the brain is always searching for information. Understand that. The subconscious mind is a recorder. It only does is record and play. That's all its job is, to record. It records everything that the subconscious mind didn't see or didn't catch. In fact, the subconscious mind is so powerful and it's a magnetic force in the moment that it dumps information that it doesn't think it can utilize. But at the same time, the subconscious mind still got it, and it's grabbed it. Now, let me give you an example from an inventor. I'm a creator, and I'm an inventor, and I'm also a provisional patent holder. So listen to this, and this is very interesting. So years ago, I came up with this ideal and that I have patent on, right? So I worked on this patent with me and my friend attorney. We worked on this patent that we were working on. It came from an idea from my brain, but it took me maybe almost 6 months to a year to actually bring this ideal in my head onto paper. Now check this out. This is what I discovered about magnetism and dealing with the electromagnetic field around us. First of all, it is true that in your brain there's an electromagnetic wave that's connected to an electromagnetic field all around us. And I don't care what you want to call it, God or whatever, I'm going to give it the physical word, electromagnetic field all around us. In fact, the electromagnetic field is so powerful, it's powerful like this. If it wasn't for the electromagnetic field, all atoms could not bond together and they would just fall down. Meaning your nose and everything would just fall apart and lay out on the ground because the electromagnetic field is what pulls it together. This is why it's so important to understand atomic objects, that they're not actually standing still. They're moving with atoms that are alive. You are a part of that too. That's why there's only one energy. There's no separate energy. So listen to this. Before I came up with this ideal, I had already pushed this ideal in my brain out into the universe. And guess what happened? Next thing you know, I started seeing other people with the same ideal. Not quite all the same, but all of a sudden start being attracted to it. Now here's what I figured out. Either my brain picked up a wave signal from someone else to tell me to produce it, or my wave signal from thinking put it out there and someone else picked it up. This is why it is said there is nothing new under the sun. We're all sharing information amongst us. It depends on what wave you pick up and what information that is downloaded into your brain. It has nothing to do with the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind's job is to record everything it sees. But how do you create something that it never saw before? That comes from a thought that's so deep that when you have an ideal, it comes when you're not thinking. Notice if two things happen. Notice when you're trying to find something that you're looking for, no matter how hard you thought about it, it didn't come to you. Because the frontal lobe of the brain is busy running its mouth, yapping, trying to find it. The subconscious mind know exactly where it's at because it placed it there. It remember. But you have to shut your brain down in order to hear the subconscious mind. It's called meditation. This is why when ideals come to you, they come to you at a spurt of a moment, meaning that it came in between your thoughts because it can't come while you're thinking. Because that's when God is trying to talk to you and you ain't listening to him because your frontal lobe is too busy with the chatter. This is why you got to quiet down, get into a meditative state, and wait until it comes to you. And ideals will pop to you. I don't care whether you want to call it God or magnetism. It doesn't matter. The question is, why did it come to you? Do you have the ability to bring that ideal into this existence? I'm surrounded around thought stuff. And I'm a part of it also. I'm a part of my trademarks that I own, of my logos. I'm a part of my inventions that I have patented, right? It all came from the ideal that, what I like to say is this. You have a thought that enters your brain, and we all experience that. The frontal lobe of the brain tries to figure out, oh, how can I bring this into existence? It asks the subconscious mind, hey, subconscious mind, do you know of any material? And the subconscious mind, yeah, I know some plastic over here. I read about somebody that does something over here. Subconscious mind is doing this job. Frontal lobe is asking the question. But where do ideals come from that was not loaded in the subconscious mind? They are part of the electromagnetic field of thought waves all around us. This is a fact that we're so dumbed down of understanding these simple components of how the brain works. So I send out a wave, just like I send out a wave of a thought to somebody, and boom, there's the phone call. That person is calling me. Or I send out a wave of thought from somebody, and I'm talking to somebody, they bring up their name. It's the same thing dealing with the electromagnetic wave and the electromagnetic field around us and inside of our brain, which is an electric magnetic wave. We don't understand the power of this brain. Google the information of electromagnetic wave in the brain and the electromagnetic field out here and see if you don't see a physical connection between the two. This is the power that can exist, that you can overcome any condition in your life. You can change any condition by thought waves and thought patterns. I got plenty of information. I'll be more than glad to give anyone a free consultation on how this shit works. If you didn't hear it right here, it's the part of the brain that is the imagination. Never stop imagining. Somehow, I said it before, the school system dumb us down by taking away our imagination, by clunking us together in single thought, by taking away the very thing that made us different as a child, and that was our signature in cursive writing. Now they took away the signature, so they're taking away your own creativity, because the first creativity you had to show your difference with somebody else in this form, in this dimension, is your handwriting. They knew it. That's why they took it out of public school. They don't want to be creative.
So you hit a lot on the imagination and things in the mental. But what is the ingredients that's required for people to turn that into action?
Boom, that's what I just said. See, so here's the thing. When you are having a thought of something and it is cultivating in your brain and you are believing in it, guess where your walk goes? Guess if you think most of the day of a product, guess what you're going to do tomorrow? You're going to start researching and trying to find it, right? Or at the same time, that what you're looking for that carries the same signal of your thought. Because when you have a thought, let's say you're looking for a red table, a certain size, a certain height. Right? That red table, that thought in your brain is sending out a frequency. That frequency is looking for that table. Now that table is looking for you. That's how it attracts. So don't think that you can just have a thought and sit on your ass and do nothing. No, that thought that you have is going to give you the energy and the power to get up and walk towards that which you want. And that which you're walking towards is also coming towards you. So no, I'm not sitting around and saying, think of some shit. You just a fucking dream of you sitting around getting high, thinking of some shit and think it's gonna come. No, you gotta move towards your belief. You believe it, you gotta research it, look it up, find it,
The
find the
ingredient
model,
is
find the label.
belief.
Believe.
One's action will
Yes,
bring about the satisfaction or the removal of dissatisfaction is the reason why humans act. That's what I was telling you about human
yes,
action.
correct.
So the idea of it can sit in the brain and sit dormant until you turn it into action.
Action.
Now, that's again, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, so you have to have a belief that you're, hey, I'm gonna do this thing to bring about the satisfaction in the world that I want to do, or bring
Correct.
about to remove the dissatisfaction in my life. So you got to have
Correct.
a belief also.
Correct.
And
The
then
belief
also
comes,
you have,
belief comes after. You can't have belief until you have the ideal. Belief
right,
comes after the created ideal. But
right,
your ability to create is your gift, and that makes you wealthy. That's my point.
yeah, based off of your definition.
Yeah,
I'm going to concede the point because again, I've been thinking that wealth and fun is not the ability to do something because everybody got the ability to do something. You only have to discuss that. What are you doing with it? If you're not doing anything, you surely will fall into poverty. So
correct.
what can we do with these ideas that we have, and not what can we do, but what are you doing to
Well,
produce only wealth and prosperity?
correct. Listen to this. When I mentioned that everyone has practiced and experienced an ideal in their head that they later saw in existence and say, I thought of that when I was a little kid. You know what? When you thought of it and had it in your brain, you didn't have the resources to move on it. Didn't mean you couldn't think about it though. And then you see it in existence. Now name me a person, name me if any of y'all have never experienced that, and I'm gonna tell you, you got a dead brain. Everyone in life has experienced something in their life that they saw in parentheses and said, I thought of that long time ago. Everyone has that experience. If you're not, you're brain dead. If you have never had that experience of seeing something that you thought of yourself before you saw it, you are brain dead. This is the point I'm making, that the most valuable thing you have is your imagination. If you don't get that, then we are talking to people with a docile mind.
Yeah,
My dad, is an IT expert, and so was my uncle, and they both talked about how they talked about amongst each other and had the idea of the Garmin, Google. Y'all remember when the first Garmin
GPS,
thing came out? GPS, yeah, the whole
MapQuest,
Garmin
and all
GPS.
that. Yeah,
They had that idea like years before, right? And so as we've talked about on this show a lot, when you have an idea, you're sending out a frequency, right? You're sending out a frequency into the universe. So if you don't focus on capitalizing on that idea, well, the universe wants to bring that forth, right?
Absolutely.
And it's gonna bring it forth in any way it can. If you don't capitalize on bringing it forth, then someone else will be the receiver of that universal thought. So the story of what is it, McDonald's, that movie that came out, that's a good example of that because the guy went and saw how McDonald's people were doing their thing, and then ultimately they did not want to capitalize on that. He saw them making, mass producing burgers in such a manner, he was like, yo, this would be great for the industry. And they didn't want to capitalize on it. He kind of stole it and then brought forth elsewhere, and that's what we see for the McDonald's today or Burger King. I can't remember which one, but
let me ask
it's
you
the
this.
same premise.
Let me ask you this, right? Black people, all our spiritualism and glory and vibrations and frequencies, we understand all these things as, from our culture, I guess history, frequency, vibrations, information, knowledge of the frequency, vibrations, magnetism. They were still slave class. White people, Asian people are not in tune to the frequencies from the Asian thing. White people, not in tune. They don't have any education understanding of frequencies. They have no education on vibrations and all this other stuff. And that's all just wealth. again, I have to ask, what does it matter if we're still impoverished and they are winning without that education of frequency, vibration, magnitude? What does it matter?
They are. You can't escape. Can't nobody escape magnetism and this vibration. You in this. You inside this
Talking
dimension.
about their education, they're ignorant of the knowledge that you're talking, right? So it's not impacting their ability, it's not impacting their wealth. They are, at the top of the food chain, and they don't have.
Who says they're ignorant of that knowledge, though?
Yeah, yeah. Who says it? But here's the thing. We are right, but we again pass over what I said earlier about fadeaways and taking a child from seven, from 1 to 7, and I'll show you the man. You don't know how they were raised in that, into where they are using stuff that is just natural ability without knowing the knowledge of it, without knowing the technical knowledge of it, but they use it because they were born in it. If you were born in a certain situation, a certain environment, you will produce the same thing that you were born in. Rich Dad Poor Dad talk about that. If your ass is born in a impoverished neighborhood and you impoverished, chances are 80% you're gonna be impoverished too, because that's where you were born. If you were born in rich, you were born in wealth, and that's all you saw is wealthy, new cars all the time. You can be dumb as hell with no education, and you will continue that same wealth. Look at Donald Trump. So the point is that where you can't I can't answer that question, but what I can say is this. Again, it goes back to the mindset of the ability to think something through and have that ability to utilize it. What I'm trying to say is this: there is no such thing as slavery. And what I'm trying to point, and I know people gonna try to knock me on this one, but I can challenge anyone to show me where is slavery, and I'm gonna show you a mindset. So I can show you that, oh, if you would say you enslaved, someone would say, hey, I'm enslaved. Why are you enslaved? Why are you in that condition? Because you working hard. Name me a people on the planet and ever before that when they were building great pyramids and building great stuff that they weren't working to get it, right? Everything's about work. Somehow we equate work, hard work with slavery. And so now we shun away from hard work because we address it to, hey, I'm enslaved. Listen, I work 24/7 to create my business. I thought of it from one end to the next. I didn't focus on no downside. Somebody said I couldn't do it. I didn't think about the white man Illuminati saying you can't become a millionaire unless you sign over to me. I didn't think about none of that. I continue to push towards my ideal and my creativity that I'm still doing today. What I'm trying to teach is that everyone needs to tap into that source inside themselves, their creativity, and utilize that shit to bring it out to humanity. Because if you got something that you can share with humanity that is good for humanity, the universe wants to back you up. Continue to push towards it. Continue to work towards it. This is why I said, make sure when you spend money for a book, you're going to get more out of the book than the money you pay. That's how you look at it. You will gain success. You will gain your success more if you use these certain tools and understanding how the brain works.
So like in my line of work, right, I deal with billion-dollar asset management. All white, all high, all that's an Asian companies. I deal with asset managers, investment, bankers, with billions of dollars. Okay, these people are very wealthy. All right, and everybody is in the ranks of what I'm dealing with in the capital markets. They're wealthy. All right, these people have no knowledge of vibrations and frequencies. The comment that was on brother Abu, I think his name was not the name but Abu, and like this. I'm not saying that a small minority of white people are not, but the majority, the masses, don't understand the things that we're talking about, the frequencies and vibrations, that it has no impact on their wealth and the creation of wealth. Right? They know the market, they have education, so the intelligence.
That's incorrect. That's incorrect. Just because they don't know the technical terms don't mean they're not using it in their natural life. That's all I'm saying.
I work with billion-dollar asset managers, and to have a conversation with them, to have a conversation with them about vibrations and frequencies. They call that woo-woo talk. Woo-woo, right? It's metaphysics type stuff that they think about it. I'm not, here to bash anybody's any of that.
Correct.
My question is, what does it matter if you're talking about, well, we got to get wealthy with this thing? And to me, just an observation of looking at the wealthy people who have no knowledge of the thing that you're talking about, don't even believe in it. they laugh at it. You can't have these kind of conversations in my environment, and you will get, walked out of the damn
But
investor
all of them
community
have
school
read Think and
because
Grow Rich.
no, but I'm talking about people,
Exactly.
graduation, the science we're talking about. We're talking about art.
But
Okay, I
that's
was just saying, hold on,
exactly what Think and Grow Rich the book is about.
Exactly.
No. That's what I'm talking about. We're talking about frequency. You can put a number to that, right? Are we talking 100 hertz, 1200 kilohertz?
No,
Or are we
no.
talking about frequency, sound spectrum, all this
Peter,
stuff?
I think what you're doing here, is doing a mix. What you just saying is that when we're talking about mindset, you telling me that they didn't have a mindset to be rich? That's a frequency, my friend. It doesn't matter. If you read the Think and Go Rich, we're talking mindset and frequency. You don't have to know the frequency title number to it, but you know that your thoughts become reality. That's all. That's all. It doesn't matter. See, listen, I'm not into comparing myself to the billionaires or any of that. What I'm trying to give you is just pure facts. It doesn't matter whether they get it or don't get it. I'm not trying to compete against them. I'm trying to tell people that you can live a better life no matter whether you want to try to extract billions or just try to extract thousands. To where your life can be comfortable, whether you're living in Peru for $100 a month or whether you're living in New York $50,000 a month. I'm saying it don't matter. The question is, are you extracting happiness? Are you extracting the ability to enjoy life? A lot of billionaires are fucking sad as fuck. A lot of billionaires commit suicide because they're not really happy and having all that fucking wealth. I'm not telling anybody to go for everything. Listen, I'm not a greedy person. But what I do want is what belongs to me. The universe has something specifically for me. I want that. And it's not that this universe is stressed with lack. There's enough for everyone, and there's a piece carved out for you. Whoever's listening, you have to get that and fuck what the billionaires are doing and how they're thinking. I'm giving you some facts on how the brain works that you can read from these white books on Think and Go Rich that a lot of these billionaires are using today when they're thinking about how they're gonna amass wealth.
So when I talk to these billionaires, I can tell you just from being on the inside, you don't give a fuck about none of that.
I bet they
Hold
could
on,
think and grow rich. I bet you they think about think and grow rich.
hold on. I guarantee you, a lot of them haven't even read the fucking book. I tell you,
I doubt
like I mean, no. This is what I'm talking about. I work in asset management, right? People I deal with are fucking assholes, all right? And guess what? They all know each other. They all went to school together or worked together at investment banks, right? It's a connection. It's a network of people. You ever notice how when people get into a C-suite, like somebody who becomes a vice president, look at the resume.
You're not gonna take a small niche of your information and overshadow the whole thing about how the brain works. You can't do that.
This is what I'm telling you. I'm not finished. When you see somebody who's become a C-suite executive, when they change in their career, they stay in the C-suite for the rest of their tenure. They stay a vice president or CFO at any job that they go to. Sometimes they don't stay at jobs forever. They stick around, but they stay in that echelon. It's a network of people that's there, and they actually go to the same schools or work at the same places, and they put each other on. They have preference. When opportunities come around, those people get put first. Network, connection, right? And so those people get put in position, with the network, what I'm saying? And then when they're talking, a lot of them are not as smart as you think they are. Like a lot of CFOs and blah blah blah, they don't know all that stuff. They have other people that feed that information to them, and then they're going to relate that. So I'm just saying, like these people, they're not on the conscious level that you are on, John. They haven't read the material that you have read. I guarantee you, they have not read any of the shit that you read. It has not had any impact on their ability to amass wealth. So that's why I was saying, like, what does it matter? What are they doing to get to where they are, right? So how are they actually really amassing their wealth? And I just gave you guys a couple of different things of why they were there.
You still haven't told me their mindset. I'm speaking mindset. You don't know their mindset. No, because they talk to you, Pierre, and you in the company there, you don't know what they're doing in their nights and sleeping and what they're reading. Stop it.
No, I told you their mindset.
You don't know their mindset. That's the last thing another man can do, to tell another man, another person's mindset. You're not in their head.
Hold on, John. I just told you. As a capital market analyst, right? I work with all the executives. In fact, I touch every part of the company. and externally. I am in investment committee meetings with these people all the time. We have side chats that we're talking to each other in the meeting, and I can guarantee you they are assholes. This is like college frat boy type
I
shit.
mean,
Hold on, hold on, hold on.
reading the book doesn't determine whether or not they're going to be an asshole or not.
No, I'm just talking about their mindset. They're regular people. They're not like, oh,
Regular people read books.
No. I'm just saying they're not read the book, knowledge. People don't give a fuck about none of that shit because they're already in the position where they are anyway. And they got there by way of networking and other, things. And it's not so much all the education. It's not all so much all the degrees. It's not all so much all the money. I got this one billionaire asset manager doing a lot of things. He said that
Because it's a mindset.
yeah, no. He said Japan was throwing around a lot of money in New York. He just happened to be at the right place at the right time. He also was other guys. They flew out to Japan and they was having meetings and they got $2 billion to start a whole fund. But these guys talking to them, they're fucking assholes. I mean, they really talk like when you see the movie the TV show Billions. Anybody ever seen the TV show Billions? Y'all seen that? If you seen Axe Capital, Bobby Axelrod is his name. He is a super asshole. Okay, you see Donald Trump? These are the type of people that's in this world. His personality, that's why they rock with him because it's almost natural. This is how they deal with each other. You know what I'm saying? When I come in there and I'm talking on my book smart and shit, they looking at me like,
you know what?
He's
an important comment right here.
You're overdoing it. You're overdoing it. It's just connected, right? When I'm sending out again $10 million trades a week, all right? I'm averaging $10 million in trades a week, and I'm sending shit over. Like some of the stuff is just connected. This by way, I'm sending some bullshit to somebody, and they're gonna pick it up just because my big dog, they work for him. And so most other asset managers not gonna take the bullshit. They're gonna take it off the strength of because of the relationship that exists. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Whereas, so it's a lot of different things to this whole wealth thing that I'm talking about. Somebody being on the inside, actually working, with these people. It's not about the vibrations and the frequencies and all this other stuff. Not with these guys is what I'm saying. And so,
it
and
absolutely
they're
is.
there.
And what Tab heard,
not is what I'm saying.
what Tab heard said here, look at this. No one knows a person's mindset unless a person shows it. Life experience shows where a person's mind is. So even the ability to be in position, to get put in position, is a mindset.
Yes, I agree with that. I'm talking about the frequency and the vibration stuff.
They may not be saying that I'm putting out a frequency when I say this, but when they say this or when they speak this, when they do this, when they read this, they are creating.
They are retarded of the knowledge that we're talking about. What I'm saying. They have never been educated in the knowledge of frequency and vibration. They are built
the wordplay or the definition. I get it.
They're there by way of education and network. That's why people spend millions of dollars into this thing that I just did a 2-day boot camp with Morgan Stanley. I'm telling you.
Pierre, give me a minute.
Understand, that's why you had this whole scandal of spending all the money to get a particular network to get them in position.
And it's all a frequency.
Yeah, here's the
smartest people are the poorest people as far as book smart. Rich Dad Poor Dad, he said the same thing. His poor dad was a PhD professor. His rich dad was a high school dropout, right? And so,
application. You're right.
Yeah, see, here's the piece that's missing here, and this is what I don't want to get confused in what everyone's listening to. You're talking mindset, and just because they're not using the technical word frequency, you don't know what frequency matters. My point here is to address people who don't know nothing about mindset, to teach them how they can get out of their condition. That's not for those who are already born in that condition and they're already extracting wealth unknowingly just because they don't know the science behind it and they ain't discussing the science. Doesn't make that mean that what I'm talking about is useless. That's the point I'm making. And I'm not going to let you do that and make it sound like that because you keep bringing up the billionaires. I could care less about them. I'm talking because you're still talking mindset, and no, you don't know what they're thinking about. No, you don't know the books they read.
Yes, I do. I'm in the meeting
No,
with them.
you don't know
You don't go to bed with them.
you don't know their parents. You don't know their parents and how their parents raised them and taught them. They don't have to use the word frequency.
No,
all they
you
got to
don't
use
know it's the thing.
all they got to use right. All they got to use is the ability.
I'm not in that business.
Right. All they got to use is set up the ability for them to win, and that is a vibration frequency itself. They don't have to mention the word frequency.
I'm not saying it don't exist. I'm saying that they're retardation of the knowledge.
That's fine. But my job is to talk to the percentage of the people that don't know of how to use their frequency and vibration in the creative mind to get the wealth they want to satisfy their life. I'm not going to sit and tell you you're going to get the wealth they got. No, I'm telling you the ability to get the wealth you want to make your life comfortable. And through your mindset. That's all we're talking about here is mindset. So I have a different way of teaching, of telling people how their mindset can work to get them out of the condition. I'm not talking to wealthy people. They're already out of the condition of poverty. They're already out of the condition of need and want and lack. They're out of that. I'm speaking to the ones in the condition that needs to know how do they extract wealth. And I'm telling you now, it's based on your ability to use your imagination. And what's stopping you from using your imagination is this television shit that the billionaires of their gap that's controlling the frequency, that's keeping you distracted, that's keeping you from understanding your ability. That's my job. I don't give a fuck about the billionaires that you're working with. I'm talking to the people that's not working in that kind of field and how you can get that kind of money. I didn't meet them kind of people in prison either, but I became something based upon what I thought of myself. So fuck them. And I didn't compare myself with nobody. I didn't compare myself with the 1%. All I want to do is be able to extract from what I can from this material world to be able to eat, clothe myself, and be happy and leave enough for my grandbabies and great grandbabies. That's all I want. I ain't trying to be the billionaires, right? So that's what I'm teaching here. I'm talking to the people that the billionaires are not on this show. I'm talking to the ones that are on this show that are struggling financially and can't figure out a way out of this shit. So I'm telling you, stop going to them stupid ass movies that ain't gonna teach you shit at the end of the day. Start asking the question. I just spent an hour of doing something. Did it benefit you? Start asking these questions of thought pattern in your brain. Ask yourself, where's that thought benefiting you? If it's not, then stop thinking it. You have to start asking yourself these questions if you want to improve your life that you have now. That's what I'm teaching. And we don't want to try to throw dirt on that. Again, we don't want to pass over it. We want to dig more into it so we can understand, as the listeners listening, understanding how can they create and be imaginative to where they can make their lives better. That's the whole thing about the tipping point. Where's your tipping point in life that make you say, you know what, I had enough. I want to do something different. Everyone has a tipping point. You're tired of being broke. You're tired of living from check to check, right? Those are frequencies. If you think you're worried about your bills, guess what? Your bill is going to be next month. It's all about what you're thinking in frequency. We got to change our mindset. This is why my main teaching is wealth ain't based upon your money or the things you attract. Wealth is based upon your mindset. And let me tell you this two-piece right here. I can tell you this. This material world that you see is actually an illusion. You know why? Because this is secondary. Primary was in the brain. Reality is in the brain. What it produced is secondary. This is the byproduct of the thought. The thought is the original. This is secondary. So you shouldn't place your value in secondary shit. You should place your value on the primary, yourself, inside your brain. That's the ability to attract wealth.
Yet you have the secondary byproduct because it improves your quality of life.
Right, but it came from the primary brain. This is why this is the illusion and this isn't. Right. Exactly.
Okay, he's not saying it's a problem.
No, I ain't saying it's a problem. It all came from this back here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yes, Listen, I agree with most of what you're saying, John. Because again, I think you're dealing with the mindset of people, which is the most. I think it's the most important seed, the mindset. When you plant
Yep.
those seeds, and again, today's topic is about Wakanda Forever. The movie itself, what kind of seeds does it plant? And I think Joe, you were talking about earlier, like pretty much understanding that this is entertainment, right? So that's
Yeah.
one thing. If we got to identify for what it is, entertainment at the end of the day, right? Yes, it's entertainment. This is not your school, people. This is entertainment. So it serves
Yeah.
a purpose, which is for entertainment. I know John is going to say you don't go see it at all, right? But me, I'm just like I don't tell people and dictate what people should do, how they should do this from experience. I, working with people at the top, I can tell you how they got there ain't the way I thought it was. These people are not so dogmatic and they live lives and the entertainment and all this other stuff, and they are,
Absolutely.
thriving in money while they fly. So it's more than one way to skin a cat. That's all I'm saying. So I don't dictate how you should do it, but what value can you extract from the movie? And if that value is an idea, and back to John y'all's principle here about the idea, I agree that again having a movie that's positive in that way can spark ideas in other young black kids or young black people here to believe that they can. Because again, you're not going to act if you don't believe. That's the ingredient to acting is that one must believe that its actions can bring about satisfaction or remove dissatisfaction.
Absolutely.
So if the movie can plant a seed in a positive way, then I think that's a good thing. I told you, I like how it show like black people working together. There's a lot of African
Love it.
spiritualism that's in there. So there's a lot of positive things that's in there. There were things that I really didn't like. But again, I'm not going to spoil the movie for anybody. And I mentioned those earlier in the podcast. But get the value from it and then turn it into action. Do something.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm going to go see it today, and I'm probably going to show up in full African garb. You know what I mean?
I got to get the review on it. Give me your review. Let's see that.
Yeah. I mean, in reality, I love, Wakanda Forever is the first Black Panther. It's one of my favorite, movies. I love certain symbolism in there, along with Avatar. It has similar symbolism in there. I love when the underdog wins anyway, when it comes to just about anything. But nonetheless, I think we've come to a point, and I hear a lot of agreement here in these in our talk, where ultimately, hey, it starts in the mind. All right. Yes, we know that there is a lot of stupid people that have created a lot of great things in life, but even those stupid people, uh, they they had a mindset at some point, even to be put in position to bring forth whatever that great thing is, right?
Can you sell a part for millions of dollars?
Hey,
They got modeling out parts.
I believe it's possible
to make it.
Yeah, go look at the store Spencer's. Spencer's, that store is full of a lot of goofy shit. You know what I mean? And things like that are things that are sold in Spencer's. So yes, you could sell a part for $1 million. Absolutely. Put it you part in a jar, you put a top on it, put a label on it, and there's people out there that will buy it and then share it with other people as a joke.
Then life isn't all about money, and
exactly, and that's not what we're talking about money. Well, there are people that are in third world countries that have all their family around them, all their needs are met, food, shelter, clothing. They smile, they laugh more than people that are wealthy as hell, and families that are wealthy as hell. And guess what? They themselves are wealthy in the midst of that, right? They may not have the dollars, but they have the wealth in abundance around them, more so than those people that have the dollars. So again, we're talking wealth, mindset, it's all good. Hey, brothers, we have brought forth a fantastic conversation. And I wanted to say something. Somebody said something about there being something about anger or something like that. Here it is. The anger needs to be put aside here. What's being said without free opinion. Understand something. There's no anger among the three of us at all. We literally do this and we bring forth our own opinions, and that is the point to be real, bring forth our opinions, But guess
Yeah.
what?
It's part
We gonna chop
conversation,
we,
man.
we,
Yeah.
we gonna chop it up on the phone and the text thread and all this stuff because we absolutely, I believe, love each other as brothers and love what we all bring to the table. And that's what's dope about the Tipping Point Show. And it was John and I's mindset that allowed us to meet Pierre and bring forth him and grab him into this fold. So we put a tight, hug around this brother.
Magnetism and the
Just like
vibrations
this.
attracted me
Absolutely.
from Charlotte all the way to
Absolutely.
Kentucky, Louisville.
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. That's what happened. So, hey, until next week, folks, remember, it is the Typical Morning Show. Oh, you know what? And I'm going to say this. If you go into Facebook, right, if you look up hashtag the Typical Point Morning Show, just type it in Facebook search. There's only one person that I've seen that hashtag the Typical Point Morning Show, and that is Crypto Kenny, who in the BitcoinCampus.org, he made a post that said, check out the crypto wrap up on hashtag the Typical Morning Show. And he did it after he was on. So, with that in mind, he's the only one who's hashtagged that. But I will say this, Miss Nola Darling that was on here, she tagged several people who are still here listening to the show. So
She's the winner. You said how
yeah,
many,
I feel like she is the winner of that
did
price
she?
rack.
How many did she tag in?
Oh, she tagged like 3 or 4 people.
Is that the most?
Through the thread.
Is that the
Yeah,
most?
she tagged in Franklin Donato. She tagged in a few people that have been here commenting. So
Score her
I
prize,
think
John.
she's
Score
the
her
winner.
prize. Prize for
I got it. There's your prize. If that's the one, she the winner. Then all
Yeah,
she
I
needs
think
to do,
she's the winner.
right? All she needs to do, who?
Nola Darling.
Oh, yeah. I'm friends with her on Facebook. Okay, cool.
Yep.
What you do is inbox me your address, and I am shipping it. In fact, she's a chef.
She is.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. She's gonna enjoy this.
That's right.
Yeah,
She's good people. She's good
yeah.
people.
But this is your.
Absolutely. Yep. That's what's up. Hey, folks, next week, same place, same time. Remember, it is the Tipping Point Morning Show. And I didn't say this earlier, but just keep in mind that today is November 12th, 2022. It's the only November 12th, 2022 that you will ever get in your life. So guess what? Make today one of the most amazing things that you can ever make. All right?
Absolutely.
Until next week.
All right. Love you, brother. Peace.
All right. Peace. Love you, brother.
You are listening to The Tipping Point Show with your host, Mr. Just Ask Joe, John Yeh. You ready? Streaming live all over social media and on your favorite music and podcast streaming platforms.
Yeah, you know what it is.
Also, check out thetippingpointshow.com. The Tipping Point Show.
I don't even know what's going on. Oh my god. Oh my god. Are you guys kidding me?